Your homie is a little excited. Hi, hello and welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another Diablo 3 video. Welcome back to part 5 in this setup for our primal. Well, it's no longer the setup. Oh, wait. It's no longer the setup. Oh, shit. Alright. Welcome to your seasonal enjoyment of my suffering. Welcome to the hunt for a primal ancient legendary item in Diablo 3. Last episode, the final setup episode, we completed our level 70 Rift. Now, why I was so excited at the start of this one, our build is working. I was randomly upgrading some items for the Templar, tried to upgrade some shoulders, because I should give him some new shoulders, and they turned into the shoulders of this set. They turned into this pair of shoulders, and I was like, well, okay, that kind of changes things up a little bit. Let me just real quickly try and reroll that into the set item that I need, into the actual chest piece. What I did was I literally, right down to the last reroll, to my absolute final forgotten soul, a couple of rerolls, I think it was like 10, invested every single point into rerolling into it, and here we go. We have our multi-shot build finally online. And it feels good. Up to difficulty Torment 16 immediately. Maybe that's a little bit on the enthusiastic, on the optimistic side, but oh yes. Let's just for the first couple of seconds, because we're gonna be talking a lot, let me just enjoy this in silence. Just for a couple of just a little. Of course the elites are gonna be a little bit tougher to deal with, but that was not that tough at all. Oh yeah, just bask in the absolute glory. Bask in the beauty. Oh, baby. We're cooking. Okay. Now we're in it for the long run. We're in it for the slow con. We're in it for the long con. We're in it for the long haul. Whatever expression you want to use, and the chances of me using expressions that are in reality non-existent there are quite large. Whatever you want to say, however you want to put it, we are strapped in now. We are going to be here for a while. Some of these videos, I've talked about this before, take 10 minutes. A primal ancient legendary item could drop right now. Literally, like there's no reason for it not to, and the video could end. We could also be here for 7 hours, and this recording project could be the only thing I record for the foreseeable future. That it can go both ways, you know? It can definitely go both ways. And I'm here for both. This is such an enjoyable little series for me, a little recurring adventure I embark on, that I don't mind spending some time here and spending some time with you guys. In the setup to this point, we often gave our episodes the format of me just talking about one single subject throughout its entirety. Now we're back into full podcast mode, I think. Now we're just into ramble territory. I'm not going to be able to talk about one subject all this time. I'm still into you. Maybe if I did something about therapy, but I talk about therapy so much already. I have so many videos about therapy already. You know, I might just ramble, see what comes up, and you guys will have to bear with me. There will be sections where the discussion will be interesting. There will be sections where I will be absolutely delivering some of the finest bullshit you have ever heard, without it having any merit or value in the slightest. And you will have to... That was dodgeable. You will have to suffer through both of them if you want to see what primal ancient legendary I get. A little life hack. Don't tell anybody you got this from me, but if you want to have that final piece of information, just skip to the end of the video. Because in the end of the video, you will see what primal ancient legendary I get, because the video ends when I get the primal ancient legendary. Oh man, it feels good to be back here. It feels so good to have my build online. Now we can start, of course, min-maxing it a little bit further, and we definitely still need some pieces. I know, for example, that I still need either focus or restraint, because at this point in time I only have one of them. So that's something to look forward to, because that is always a game changer, getting those two online. Other than that, I know I still need the right weapon. Okay, I thought for a second that it just dropped right there. I still need Ramalatni's gift in order to really socket a little gem into my weapon. Let's just quickly check if it's better. It is not. Minus 10% damage. You won't catch me equipping that quickly. You won't catch me equipping that quickly in the slightest. If you have not enough time on your hands to actually watch the entirety of this shit show, then by all means skip to the end. Bask in the glory, or probably join me in my frustration of receiving just an item that I will not be able to use. It won't even frustrate me, to be honest. I'm just happy to be here. I know it sounds weird because it's a large time investment on my end, but oh man, I love this. I've been looking forward to this moment ever since booting up Diablo 3 again. Like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago already, when we were playing League of Legends in the Outpost in an internet gaming cafe in Antwerp, me and my buddies, and we were in queue, and I needed something to play while I was not playing League, which was seldom because we really employ a little grind session there. But while the other boys were going to get food, for example, I was in the Temple of the Firstborn killing away those little gremlins. Oh, they had it coming, you better believe. And I felt like, oh, you know, when I play this game, where I gain the most fun, where I achieve the most fun is definitely either playing Monk, could be Inna, could be the build where you drop bells on their head, or this exact multi-shot Demon Hunter build. And look where we are now. Of course, the strength of this build is screen clearing, as is often the case with these types of games and with these types of builds. The weakness then means single target damage, so give me some time to kill Queen RNA, please. What we are doing right now, by the way, is trying to gain a Ring of Royal Grandeur from the bounty caches, because we need that for our next Altar of Right upgrades. But in the meantime, every single thing we are doing, of course, contributes to our search for that elusive red bordered item. Only Leoric's Manor Courtyard bounty left. And then after that, I guess we will just restart the game and try again. It's not the most efficient way to achieve Primal Ancient Legendary items. The most efficient way would be to start farming the Greater Rift levels that I can easily achieve, or that I can easily kill or complete in a minute or 3, which is probably what we will be doing in the future once I get some more Altar of Right upgrades. But for now, this is fun too. Don't forget to activate my... I don't need the Tome of Saturn Dungeons. To activate my Vengeance a bit more, because it allows me to keep spamming my ability. And you need to pop your ability in order to deal damage. It's a little lesser known trick in Diablo 3, but if you want to deal damage, you actually need to use abilities, you know? The main premise of this build, by the way, is that we need to keep this blue bar as full as possible. So don't get it twisted. It's a powerful build and it's easy to pilot, but it's not trivial to pilot. I need to learn it a little bit still. And I also still need Dawn, the crossbow that allows me to halve, I think it's half the cooldown of my... No ring here. The cooldown of my Vengeance ability. That's gonna help me out a ton as well. New transmog, those shoulders. We are not going the Impale build this season. I'm sorry. Goodbye. 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 That gives 17 Forgotten Souls. Okay. We don't need any of these. We don't need this. Well, we can give it to our fella here. Right? There we go. Even though he cannot die. Still, why not? What are we investing in right now? I think we might actually... Okay, of course. The second we stop playing with this build, we get an ancient variety of our crossbow. I think we might want to invest in Down first, to be honest. I think that's what we're going to be looking for at the start of this journey. Because that's a clear-cut example of an item that I know I need. How are you guys doing? Are you strapped in? Are you ready for this shit? We're 10 minutes in right now, and I mean... This could be the first 10 minutes of many, many iterations of 10 minutes. Back when I was playing it in the Outpost, I just dilly-dallied a little bit. I was spending some time in the Temple of the Firstborn, as I mentioned. I was just leveling up, following the leveling guide created by my boys over at maxroll.gg. Should we do those portals? Are we gonna need the materials we get from that in the end. I think I want to do at least one just to feel the satisfaction of actually being able to clear these areas out now, because this used to be such a struggle. Oh yes. Oh yes. And I guess it is, of course, a nice option to, or a nice way, a nice possibility to get Primal Ancient Legendary items, because we encounter a lot of rare packs and stuff like that. I can't wait for the ability for my follower to just salvage items and pick up other items and stuff. Is salvaging items also one of their abilities, or am I imagining that? It's been a while since I've upgraded my Altar of Rights to the max level. And this, of course, has the additional benefit of providing us with some very, very nice fucking massacre bonuses. Greatly increasing our Paragon level, which is, of course, a damage increase in and of its own. I think if I get more Primal Ancient Legendaries, first of all, the series will end, the little video will end. But additionally, if I do want to play further then, I think I will transform my Squirt's necklace into a primal item maybe. Because transforming my weapon is not gonna... Well, no, it's not gonna work, because... This is such a weird way that you have to get out of this always. It's not gonna work because I have one of these ethereal weapons, right? So you can't make an ethereal weapon primal. That would be bonkers, that would be just absolutely insane. So I understand why they don't do that. We completed our bounty here, so we need to get into the next area. So I guess walking out of there was no use at all. If I would continue playing, I would put it on Squirt's necklace, because I think it's a very, very powerful build enabler. I quickly want to check maybe if I have the exact right talents lined up with my build, but it's gonna be some downtime. I don't want to pause the recording though. The main premise of this concept is kind of a marathon. It's a marathon of content creation. I used to feel like I had to record it in one session, but sometimes that is just not viable in a life where you have a social life, where you have work, where you need to do other things with your life as well. Okay, I'm not gonna head in there again. Not right now, at least. So, it's gonna be split up in multiple recording sessions. I'm sorry if that makes it seem less of an achievement, but I have a life. Sadly enough, I can't just spend it playing Diablo. That's maybe not authentic, really. Of course, I enjoy other parts of my life than playing Diablo 3. Although, ooh, are you ancient, buddy boy? Are you an ancient variety of the item? You're not, but you seem a lot better than what we have going on. Reroll the area damage into a socket, and I think we have a winner right there. Okay, keep that in mind. Put it in the bottom right in the hopes of not salvaging it. Sometimes those things just happen rather quickly. Before you even realize what I have done. I've... blah 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 myself, right? Any Linkin Park fans? What's your opinion on the new singer? I noticed how we didn't say on the person replacing Chester, because that's a heated online discussion that I have been following along with a little bit. Especially since Chester's son got in the mix and was like, oh, you didn't tell me anything, this is so disrespectful, which I kind of understand. A controversial opinion, and this is gonna get me cancelled probably. I enjoy their song, The Emptiness Machine, the new song with Emily Armstrong, more than I enjoy most of their work. Stop, don't click away from the video, please. Please, come on, please, I just want some company. I'm not the biggest Linkin Park fan. I know my girlfriend is, for example, ready to strangle me on the other side of the door at this point in time, because she is a very, very big Linkin Park fan, but for me, they have never really done it. They have never really buttered my egg roll. They have never really been that enticing to me, been like the best band in the world to me, been a band that I really want to get into. Or, of course, I was sad for Chester's death, because I know that the band had a major impact on a lot of people's lives, not in the least my girlfriend. It didn't personally affect me all that much, because I'm not that invested in the band. Right now, The Emptiness Machine, I find that such a good song, and I really enjoy Emily singing, that now I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually some music I can really get down to. And I know that makes me not a real fan probably, or that some people might think you are completely... I need to watch out for that. You are full of bullshit. Chester's voice is 1,000 times better. How can you not enjoy the old music first? More, rather, and I understand, because you probably have some sentimental value there and stuff, but for me, it doesn't quite hit the spot. But now, when that first chorus rolls around, the first time Emily sings the chorus of like, I let you cut me open just to watch me bleed, and the little raspiness in her voice comes out because she's screaming a bit, but then she immediately goes back to singing as well. Oh, even, this is no joke, even talking about it is giving me goosebumps right now. I've listened to it a bunch of times already now because I was very interested in seeing other people's reaction to that specific part of the song as well. So both the live version as the official music video version have really been blasted into my ears many, a myriad times already. Still enjoy it to the fullest. Every single time I still get that goosebump feeling. And I think that's something that the old Linkin Park never achieved for me. Don't get it twisted. I like their songs, I like their music, just not in a way of like, yeah, they really changed my life and I couldn't live without them, and Chester's death got me crying for hours on end. It's not like that. I think I have some bands where I am that invested and where it would make me very sad to see some of the band members go. I think Onkruid is a great example. I think Idols is a great example. I think Fred again, to be honest, is a great example. This is gonna be so hipster, but I kind of discovered his solo journey, I think, quite early, before everybody was into him. Oh, I feel so snobbish to say, but it's a fact I take pride in, that I was already spinning or putting Lost, or I Am Lost, on at parties I was going to, and everybody was like, what's this song? Who put this on? Why is it so good? And I was like, oh, this is this Fred Again guy. He actually produces for a lot of people, but now he is starting his solo journey. You know him from We've Lost Dancing. I take some pride in that. I take some pride in my ability to discover music before other people do, and therefore Fred Again has kind of a little bit of a sentimental value to me. Also because his music just greatly gets me in my emotions, and I really enjoy listening to his songs. His new album 10 Days, banger. The song 10 Days itself, absolute banger. But I know Anthony Fantano is not that big of a fan, but I don't want to base my musical opinions entirely on the internet's busiest music nerd, although I do appreciate his input most of the time. So I think, yeah, Fred Again, his passing, which, God forbid, let's not do that, you know, let's keep him alive for a little longer or a whole while longer, but that would really hit me. Onkruid, Archie Marshall, something happening to him, that would really hit me, because that artist has made such an immense impact on both me and my best friend Krogan. There's some artists that definitely I would rather have alive forever. Another convention. I need the recovery and the toughness a little bit as well. Not using grenades. A little puzzle ring is interesting. Don't need this. Any rings of royal grandeur, maybe? Potentially? Nope. A lot of amulets, some shoulders and bracers. No ring to be found. I guess I shouldn't even, like, look at these items, right? I should just disenchant them without identifying them, because we're never going to use any of them. We have some blood shards. We can reroll into one-handed mystery weapons a little bit for a second. I thought for 1 second that I already had Dawn, but this is something different. Let's fill this bad boy up. Just give it a couple of attempts. That's okay for now. I will put that in there for sure. But we are looking for Dawn. Okay. Easy enough. Easy enough, to say the least. Quick build check. Quick vibe check, you know. Hot pursuit, tactical advantage. These are all right. Shadow power, shadow glide. Invigoration. Vanishing powder. Thief. Focus. Arsenal. That's all correct. They do tell us to get the Enchantress instead of the Templar. That's interesting. Maybe we want to actually switch up them, but that will require a lot of gear changing, probably. Okay, that's something to do later. That's fine. in the cube, what do we have in the cube? We have Dawn, and there we go. We have another item here as well. This, okay. Okay. We're changing up the game right now. Because the Dark Heart means that we also reduce all damage taken, so we die a little bit less quickly. Okay. Now, I'm so glad I did that, to be honest. Don't disenchant the puzzle ring, you piece of shit. Just put it in here somewhere. There's the stash with one puzzle ring, yes. And then let's go to the enchanter. And let's try and reroll the... Let's reroll this into sockets. That's a lot of damage, but we need the socket. Ah, god damn it. Okay, bear with me. Let's sacrifice some of our Imperial Diamonds. I'm sorry you have to bear through this. Maybe we don't even have to. Maybe these 4 will be enough together to gain a socket. I don't know whether we will still have a great item here then. Socket. Socket! Okay, it's still a lot better. Goodbye. I guess I'll just salvage it. And welcome to the new sheriff in town. We actually can use this according to our build. And then we still need one more greater gem that we have not found yet. But right now we are not focused on greater rifts. We are focused on getting another rendition of the Ring of Royal Grandeur in our inventory, which is, I think, exactly what I will focus on by leaving the game and starting it back up again. How deep in are we? 22 minutes. I'm still feeling fresh, alive, happy, excited to be here. Back to Act 1 we go. Start off with the Skeleton King now that we're here, right? A little speed boost at the start by destroying all of these faces. And now we can almost freely probably pop our Vengeance, because the cooldown is a lot shorter. We don't need to pay as much attention to using it perfectly. Can we open this gate or not? Well, either way, I'm just gonna move along here because I don't need to be here. I really need to pay attention to my discipline, because when my discipline is low, my damage is extremely low as well. Vengeance is up already again. I guess I should use my speed boosts a little bit less often then, because they of course require me to sacrifice a lot of my discipline. Skeleton King, buddy boy. So I should use that a little bit less often maybe. I think I might also invest some of my core points into vitality to be a little bit more tanky and not get one shot all the time. Although at this point in time I feel completely fine. I feel like I am not getting one shot that much, that often. Mad King of Tristram. More like Mad King of the Graveyard, because I killed him again. You know? Do you get that little joke? Okay. One thing I like to do in this journey of finding a Primal Age Legendary is also focus on my commentary and try to invest some energy into actually making some quips, into actually getting some humor in there. True Onkruid fans will remember the amazing Zweihander joke, for example, that I even made into a separate video. That's for the real OGs out there. But those are the kinds of things I really want to just intertwine with the regular old scheduled programming of deep conversation, of rambling thoughts, of gameplay related but also non-gameplay related items. How do I regain discipline? I guess just by auto-attacking, just by using my primary hatred generator that also regenerates some discipline, but in general we are still looking for it. Isn't there like this passive that increases my hatred and or discipline rather, and shouldn't I be using that? Or maybe I am already using that. I guess I just checked my build, so I had the opportunity to look at it. Don't forget to put on Vengeance again. Put it on at all times as soon as it's off cooldown, because you have that ability right now. The Death Breath is just stacking up nicely, because we have one Ring of Royal Grandeur invested in our Templar already. So if we really wanted to, we could sacrifice that one right now and just not get any double Death Breaths or double Greater Rift Keystone drops anymore. We have probably quite a lot of Greater Rift Keystones already, I can imagine. 26 is a lot, but not as many as I expected, to be completely honest with you. I will keep it a stack with you. I expected a little bit more from myself and from the hours I have invested in this character already. There is a cursed chest over here, which we will now cleanse, and it's nice because that's a very nice massacre bonus. This is that beautiful bow. Beautiful in the sense of just like the cosmetic appearance of it is actually quite nice. Just stand in a corner and fire away your multi-shots. This is what this build is all about. Plans for today. It's a Tuesday. I have a little coffee date planned with a friend together with my girlfriend, which I'm looking forward to. Might take my book there. Hello? Oh, there was one guy just standing over here. Might take my book there. Might also just talk for a whole while and drink some nice coffees. I have 2 clients in the evening. Normally Tuesday is my free day. I'm really finishing off my clients at my second place of work where I'm actually not working anymore. Now I'm finally finding the courage to tell them, like, you know, I really don't want to be in this place anymore. And I want my Tuesdays, my free days, to be actual free days. So either you follow me to the other practice or our coalition, our journey together has to end, and I need to send you over to someone else in this group practice, which I don't like doing, because I promised those people my help, and I want to help them as good as I can, but I don't want to be in that place anymore. There's too much going on at all times, too much drama and stuff, and I want to stay away from that. Make a wide turn around that place, to be honest. Whereas the other workplace, I often feel happy going there. It really just draws me in. The colleagues, the general vibe, the environment, the way the place looks, the relationship with my boss, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And that's exactly what you want in a job, I think. And the contrast is so large, which greatly increases my appreciation for the place where I will continue on working and the place where I want to be, but also greatly increases my suffering and frustration towards the other location where I want to actually steer clear of, you know? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I think there was some coherent thought in there. So I'm finally telling those clients, like, you know, I'm really ending off here. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to find another solution. And that has provided me with a lot of mental rest already, especially because the client I talked to it about already is one of the clients that I was still seeing consistently. One of the only clients I was still seeing consistently there, because I have actually not really been working there, or at least not been taking on new clients from January already, and we are at the halfway mark of September, you know? So that kind of shows you a little bit how drawn out and stretched out I have been going about this process of ending off my journey there, just because of care for the clients and because I didn't want to leave them behind or leave them to their own devices. I wanted to be there for them still. And I think I did a good job. I think I did my best. But I think now it's time to really throw the towel in the ring, get a Ring of Royal Grandeur, and end off this recording session on a fucking bang. Yes, sir. Okay. Do we need to take the gem out of our bag? No, right? Alright. Wait. Oh. We didn't even... We didn't need it at this point in time, but we were gonna need it for the next step right now. So I mean, I guess a little bit of an anticlimactic progression of things, but at least we can immediately go into the next step now, which is apparently over here, right? Plus 5% damage. You won't catch me. You won't catch me not being happy about that. I think we need to identify our ring first. Goodbye, Ring of Royal Grandeur. You will be greatly missed. It's not ancient. Doesn't matter really, but bam! What do we need right now? Okay, I think we have all of this, right? I think we have all of this already. We're making some progress in our altar. That's what I will do, and then I will stop the recording session because I need to head out for my coffee date together with my girlfriend on a bicycle. Beautiful stuff has been happening in the sense that she has gotten my mom's old bicycle, and now we can finally just be on the road again together, which is something I really enjoy, but she did not enjoy because her bike was always acting up. Restrained? Of course. Of course. We need emeralds. We need a lot of emeralds. Let's sacrifice some diamonds because we're never going to use these diamonds either way. Booyah. And then 16 of them. 23 royal diamonds. 28. Okay, we have more than enough to create the emeralds that we need. I can even, to be honest, like create 9. After all, why not? Why would I not do this, right? Just create 9 of them. Trade the little girl over here for her essence of emerald. Head into the cube. Transform all of them. Head back to Act 1 to the altar of rites. And then invest the other ones into our gear because these are regular royal emeralds, so helps us out a ton as well. Where are we going now? To the right here. Elite packs drop 1 additional progress orb. Yes, sir. Okay. Rabble up these gifts. That's what we're looking for right now. I don't believe I have one in at any chest anywhere because I think it would have then showed up on that screen. So I think that's the main thing we're looking for right now. And the beautiful thing is that you get those just from playing the game. So I can do whatever I want in the meantime. Which might be regular rifts, might be greater rifts. I think I also want to get the Everest band. I think that's one more thing I want to invest, which requires me to do Act 3 bounties. So maybe we can spend one time in the recording session completing Act 3 bounties at all times and then continue doing something like greater rifts or anything. Either way, thank you so much for watching this first part. Hope to see you in the next part as well, which is just going to be this video. So hope you don't click away from the video, I guess. Alright, bye-bye. Hi. Welcome back. I shouldn't spend too much time on this because for you, it's not really being welcomed back. It's just the rest of the video, the second part of the video. Second part of how many you ask, I have no idea. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. Sitting here with a little bit of a stupid grin on my face. I guess being smilish is never stupid, because being happy is quite a nice feeling in life. Because I just was casually watching a little tiny bit of Northernlion, just a random The Library of Ryan Letourneau video, a highlight about him playing Deadlock together with his wife Kate, and it stumps me every time. I don't understand how he does it, but that man is so, I wasn't gonna say effortlessly funny, but he probably spent quite some time developing his craft, to be honest, but he is so goddamn funny, man. He was asking his chat, avid gamers of course, avid MOBA gamers, as most people online presumably are. A lot of people play MOBAs like League, like Dota, like Deadlock right now. How does this work? How does that work? And one person in his chat was like, yeah, but the ability is not quick cast, so you need to take that into account. And he breathes and he tells his chat, I'm coming to you as an adversary from the real world. I don't know what these terms mean. And that is just, that's so funny. I'm so jealous. I think, like, really the only thing I can do is shave my head, become completely bald, and just head over to Canada. Maybe that is like the missing link in my sense of humor. Maybe that's what I need in order to be actually funny. But in general, I just think he's unparalleled in his craft, man. Just such an inspiring individual, that man. And he has been inspiring me for years and years and years on end, and I feel like he will do forever. It's nice to have this answer to the question ready, like, right? If they ask me who is your biggest inspiration in terms of YouTube, I know who to say. I know that it's gonna be FaZe. Fucking, oh man, that joke would have landed a lot better if I knew anybody in FaZe. If I said X-Jaws and his Call of Duty Black Ops 2 playthroughs, it's gonna be Northernlion. It's always gonna be Northernlion. He has gotten me through so many times of my life. That sounds like he has gotten me through hard times of my life. That's not necessarily what I want to say. He's been with me along a large part of the way, you know. I've been listening to, watching Northernlion, adoring Northernlion for years on end. I was thinking, no, that can be right. It's not like more years of my life than I have not been listening to him. I think. Maybe. I think I think it's gonna be quite close, to be honest. This is a crazy realization, but it might be like 10 years plus already, maybe, that I am listening to this fella ramble on the Binding of Isaac. I don't want to put too many words into this because I feel like I need to really look at his channel age and compare that to my own age of literacy and when I could actually understand the shit he was spewing out. But I feel like, well, I know for sure that he has been a big part of my life for a while already now. And I think that's the main gist of what I want to get across. It gets me thinking, there's some people in here commenting or just viewing, just lurking, that have probably been here for more than a year already. That's already a substantial amount of time, you know? If I've been of an influence to you for a year of your life, goddamn, that's impressive. That's cool. Maybe being of influence is tooting my own horn too much a little bit, or thinking myself too impactful, too largely. I don't know, but it's a cool feeling. I think that's maybe one of the main things I want to achieve with this channel. Not necessarily fame or numbers, but impacting people. Yeah, that would be nice. I would really appreciate that if I could have an influence, a positive influence on you guys in some way, shape or form. Probably not necessarily with every video I create. I think that's just an unrealistic standard to set for myself. But following the words of Austin Kleon, if my content has the chance to add some value to one person's life, if it just has a chance to do that, then it is going to be worth it for me to create that. I feel like we've rambled on about this for a while already on the Onkruid channel though, so I digress. What are we doing, by the way? Well, as I said, every recording session I want to start off with a little Act 3 bounty session, just to make sure that we maximize our chances of gathering the Avarice Band, which is, I guess, only really useful in terms of regular rifts, collecting gold, collecting greater rift freestones, collecting gems and stuff like that, but not really for the journey we're embarking on, which is looking for that primal ancient legendary item. So maybe it's a little bit of waste of time. Maybe it's just a nice amount of avoidance keeping me here longer because I want to entertain you guys longer. You don't need to say it out loud. You don't need to make the joke, oh, so you're trying to entertain us. I know, okay? I know I'm not bald. I know I'm not Canadian. I'm trying my best. I'm just a guy, really. Just a Belgian guy with some hair on his head. A psychologist trying to be funny while he has to be serious almost the entire time. Which is not true because you can be funny in therapy sometimes. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to make the best out of it. One thing I want to really get more into though is creating content with my camera and creating more content that is not only related to games. I feel like I'm trying. That's the end of the sentence, so I don't know why my intonation is like this, but I feel like I'm trying. Lately, or a while back, I recorded one of the videos on the book that I'm recording videos on. A bit of a redundant statement, but I recorded it with my camera downstairs and it already felt like a major difference for me. Even though it's still in the confines of my own home, even though I'm still safe and sound and I can walk around naked in the location where I'm filming if I would want to, because there's no one else there. It already felt like a beautiful step forward and a beautiful step towards filming in public as well. I don't necessarily know how I want to do it, what I want to do. There's this idea looming in the back of my brain, and really in the darkest dungeons, next to Baby Shark playing on repeat 24/7. It's somewhere in the back of my mind there. There's this idea of just taking my camera, cycling into Leuven to a random coffee shop or something, looking for somebody that is sitting there on their own and asking them, do you want to have a conversation with me? 10 minutes, just about anything, and just ask them some questions, have them talk about their day, maybe have them talk about some deeper stuff if they feel up for it, just in general. Like, I think that could be very meaningful and entertaining, but not in like a classic sense. Not in a classic sense of being entertaining, or being entertaining like Mr. Beast entertaining or Danny Duncan entertaining, but being entertaining in a sense of like, what's that guy that used to work at Apple and now creates these very delightful interviews with people struggling and stuff? What's his name? I want to say that his name is something like soft white underbelly or big white underbelly, but it sounds, if I say that out loud, it sounds like I'm completely delusional. Soft white underbelly? Thank you, brain. Thank you so much, brain. Holy shit, I guess I shouldn't doubt myself that much. Wow, that's unexpected. But yeah, soft white underbelly. I think he's an employee of Apple, so one of the slaves of Steve Jobs, turned into actually doing something meaningful with his life. Oh, that's way too rough to say. The iPhone and other Apple products have been changing lives for eternity already. I digress before I get arrested, cancelled, or before the ghost of Steve Jobs puts me in like one of those very tight black turtleneck sweaters that I will never be able to get out of. He transformed his main passion in life into becoming an interviewer. He uploads his interviews on YouTube, and they are of stunning quality because they are often, as I said, with people in trouble, people not experiencing the best things in life, people not in the best phase of their own life. Prostitutes, crack addicts, combinations of the two of those, because those populations have quite a high overlap, I think. People like that, people you normally wouldn't really, this sounds very rough, but I think I'm gonna say it anyway. It sounds really rough. Wouldn't let speak. People that normally are not in the limelight. I guess that's more what I'm trying to say. They are usually not the focus, and we tend to avoid them a bit more than actually really get into a conversation with them. I think that's safe to say. I think that's safer to say than we don't let them speak, because that just sounds wrong. Amulet and ring. That ring is then presumably going to be what we need. The amulet, I'm not sure. That's Everest Band if I've ever seen one. Yes. Okay. Oculus ring is very nice though, actually, to be honest. When we're doing what we're doing right now, we would rather have him equip Everest Band, but we need to, maybe like in the second stash slot, all the way here in the bottom left, let's store that Oculus ring, because when we get into greater rifts and stuff like that, we would definitely prefer the Oculus ring to be by our side. Okay, back to Act 1 town, because now we have done our bounty hunting for today. I know there's still some gloves we need to hunt for as well, but I think they are from Act 2, and I don't want to just be doing bounties all the time. So that's why I will now get into some rift action, right? Yeah, I think so. I think I will do some random... Well, yeah, level 70 is fine, I guess, and let's empower it. I will do some random rifts, even though I know that the Greater Rift Keys... No, not the Greater Rift Keystones, the Legendary Gems I have socketed into my gear right now, like Boon of the Hoarder, is not doing anything for me, because these enemies don't drop gold, of course. I still need to collect some of them, first of all, and I just want to focus on leveling up the ones that are already of use to me, so this is still valuable. And now, with the Elites drop 1 additional... Did we unlock it already or not? If we have unlocked it already, then fine, fun, awesome. If we didn't yet, then fuck. But with the Elites dropping 1 more progress globe, that really speeds up this process a lot. Wow, we're dealing an immense amount of damage. Of course, we have a power pylon right now, so don't get it twisted. This is a little bit of a misrepresentation, but even before power pylon, we were already destroying screens. Isn't this like one of the most satisfying Diablo builds out there? Ina's Monk is right up there with it, for sure. And Ina's Monk is a bit more passive even. You clear out the entire screen by just running through there, which is even more fun. But I felt that Demon Hunter itch. For sure. What are we looking for our Altar of Rites again? Right, Ramalatni's gift. Okay, yeah. I'm glad that I remember that, but I don't really remember. I'm not sure whether we have the extra orb, the extra progress orb or not. I should also make it more often a habit to pop my health potion, because I now gain shrine effects from popping that, and they are not to be underestimated for sure. Or their effect. The shrine effects is not to be underestimated. What we are also still looking for is the amulet that makes pylon effects last twice as long. Because I would love to feel completely overpowered for double the amount of time, you know? Also a shield pylon for more than half of the rift, or for, well, yeah, probably more than half of the rift by then. It's going to be very nice. A channeling pylon is also going to be nice, because it allows us to move rather quickly without having to worry about the discipline becoming too low. The shield pylon is still here, so I can just stand here without giving too many fucks. Still have to give a little fucks at this point in time, because I can still get one shot once the pylon is gone, but for now... Okay, here we go. Rift Guardian is spawned. Let's use our health pots. Oh yeah, we make quick work of him, don't we? There we go. Beautiful stuff. Some nice items here. And let's upgrade, first of all, the Bane of the Powerful a bit further. Didn't die and empowered, so that's 5 upgrades for us. That's beautiful. We just need to get this to level 25, and then we don't need to upgrade it any further. So one more rift, and we will definitely have the upgrade already. Let's close this bad boy down and gain almost 10 Paragon levels. I'm rolling for rings because I'm looking for focus, considering we already have a restraint. If you really get into the Greater Rift locations, the Greater Rift era of this character, we will need focus and restraint for sure. Nope, nope, nope. No, not at all. No, thank you. Interesting, but no. Nope, and no. Okay. Bit of a not so great haul, I guess, there, but that's to be expected, you know? Once I don't get any new legendary gems, and I have collected all of them, that's when I will look in my build to see which ones I actually need in order to go probably for the Greater Rift solo pushing variant. Well, Greater Rift speed variant is what I'm trying to get at. I don't really like, and Onkruid fans will know this from previous episodes in the Diablo universe, I don't really like the point of Diablo where you really need to just kite the enemies around for eternity before you can actually kill some of them. I love it when the enemies just die. And I guess that's a little bit of my pussy attitude shining through, but it's also just me wanting to have fun in the game and not unnecessarily succumbing myself to torture, not making my reality closer resemblant of a living hell without any doubt. I think I saw an additional progress globe land at my feet as soon as that enemy met his demise, so I think we have it unlocked already. Okay, wow, it's still the same Tuesday. The coffee was very nice. I had a cappuccino, bland, basic. Shouldn't say bland because bland sounds very negative, but I think basic is an accurate word. But delicious. Noir in Leuven. In my opinion, the best coffee shop in Leuven, although the chai lattes in Wheel of Coffee are amazing. The iced lattes in Mok are also absolutely ridiculously good. So every little coffee place has its own specialty in my books, and I really love that. And the matmum is just expensive. People living in Leuven will get my sentiment there. People not from Leuven, let alone not from Belgium will probably be like, why the fuck am I watching this? This guy is just talking about things not related to me. Ooh, it's a nice little segue I can make there. When I did my latest 10-kilometer run, just a little flex, yes, I can run 10 kilometers. I'm Usain Bolt. I listened to a YouTube video detailing how to tell stories. It's a part of my life where I feel like I still have a lot to learn. I think this YouTube channel is helping me, but I think I often ramble too much. I don't express myself clearly. I use words that actually have way more proper replacements or way better replacements, things that would be way more fun to listen to. And one of the points that guy telling me how to tell stories made was, don't ever use... I think this is one... Oh, this is one we definitely might need, I think. But I'll just upgrade this for now. One of the tips is, don't ever use references or don't ever make references to things that other people will not know about. Things your listeners will not know about or relate to. And I think that's complete bollocks, because I feel like some of the funniest stuff that I hear Norland say are just references to things that I might not know about at all. No. No. Absolutely not. Don't need it. Don't need necromancer gloves for sure. And all of this can just go right in the garbage. How long have I been recording? 18 minutes. I've definitely got one more Greater Rift in me. I'll start investing some points in vitality. I need to look up what my stat priorities are now. Paragon points. Add a bit of vitality if you feel too squishy. 750,000 life is recommended for solo push. We are at like half of that, but I don't want to solo push. Cooldown reduction first, critical hit chance after it, and then critical hit damage. It's the other way around. Okay. Interesting. Great that we checked it for a little bit. That was probably still from my previous build then. Here we have all resistance, and then indeed armor, and then indeed life percent. And then here we do indeed have area damage, resource cost reduction, and life per hit. Love myself some gold pickup radius, but they never seem to really enjoy putting that into the builds. Now that I'm here, now that I'm in town and wasting all of your time, I guess I will just look at the gems we need a little bit. We are still looking for Bane of the Trapped, but we do need Zeiss Stone of Vengeance in our build somewhere. So, if we are really focused on Greater Rifting, and they use Bane of the Trapped, which we don't have yet, and Bane of the Powerful, which we do have yet, and which we just upgraded to level 25. So I guess now we will just look for Bane of the Trapped and invest levels into Zeiss Stone of Vengeance, I think. Let's put everything else away. And what we're looking for still is the Ramalatni's Gift, is still the amulet that makes pylon effects last twice as long. And I guess also the gloves that makes shrine effects last 10 minutes. But we are not looking for them right now, just as I discussed earlier, from bounty rewards, and I don't want to just be doing bounties every video. Okay, back at it again with the white fans at Krispy Kreme. A little mixture of two memes there. I just completely blanked out for a second. Not necessarily not looking forward to my clients, but I feel the location thing dragging at me. I don't know if I talked about this in this video or in the previous part, the setup part, probably in this video, because the last setup part was about Diablo's endgame, I think. I want to see the clients, I want to listen to them, I want to try and help them out, but I resent just getting on my bike to cycle to that workplace already. Although, one of my favorite colleagues is in today, and she has been on her honeymoon for a while, so I do hope to get some words in with her, maybe just listen a little bit to how it was, and finally reconnect a little bit, because I haven't seen her in ages, it feels like. This is a stacked goddamn rift, goddamn. I feel like we also got some nice pylons right at the start, but there's been a whole lot of blue packs for us to devour, to demolish, to get rid of in a quick manner, in a quick fashion. Colleagues do so much. Like, your workplace can be shit. You can even, I think, hate your job a little bit. And I'm not talking about personal experience right now, but I think it is true. You can even hate your job a little bit if your colleagues are great enough. That can sometimes just alleviate all of those negative symptoms, those negative things, and keep you working there. Agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. Include a little nice emoji there, and in your native language also the word pickle in that comment. I would really love to hear what the word pickle is in your native language. Anyway, I feel like having the right people surrounding you can make any job bearable. I think for me, for my job personally as a therapist, that's also true in terms of like you need to have an okay amount of clients, an okay number of clients, and also just okay clients. Maybe that sounds weird, but you need to have some thankful clients, some clients where you feel like you're making progress. You need to have a little bit of diversity in your client population, I think. Not all of them being depressed is also a big one in there. But colleagues are even more important. If, when lunch break rolls around, you feel like you're dreading to get into the lunchroom because you don't want to speak to your colleagues, that's gonna make your job a hell of a lot less enjoyable, I can tell you that much. Holy shit. That's a decent Ouroboros right there. What amulet do you have right now? Well, I think I don't want to give you extra damage. So, goodbye. The Witching Hour is, of course, a great belt. Goodbye. Arkstone. Goodbye. Praise Flame. Goodbye. 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 And we have had like 14 Justice Lanterns by now. What was I getting at? Right, your colleagues. A big part about it is, of course, also how you interact with your colleagues and whether you are an enjoyable little bloke to be around, because if your colleagues don't like hanging around with you, the mood at work is not going to be perfect either. For the place where I do still work, I think one of the big things we got going on for us there is the surfing trip that we organize with our group practice. It really connects us on a deeper level than just sitting there in offices next to each other, you know? It is a journey, it is a trip we take together, it is a project we work on together, and just in general, like the mission of the group practice, the connection between body and mind, the idea of food, stress management, mindset, and bodily movement being all such important characteristics in order for you to live a healthy life. Everybody in our group practice really supports that view, and everybody in our group practice tries to contribute to those 4 pillars in people's lives, and connection built upon that fundament of having a mission statement that you can all get behind is, I think, maybe at least one of the, if not the most important factor in actually enjoying your time at work. Maybe not necessarily enjoying your time with colleagues, but enjoying your time at work. If you feel like you are working in a place where everything is just about money, and it's not about adding value to people's lives, it's not about creating valuable projects, it's not about doing anything that you find important in life, it's gonna be so hard to feel motivated and to get your ass into work, to clock in, not spend just 5 hours of your day on that ivory throne making money, but actually making money sitting on your phone, but actually doing something in terms of your work. Yeah, the circumstances need to be quite okay for you to experience that if you are not supporting, or if you don't feel like the mission of the group practice or whatever type of place you work at is near and dear to your heart. It is of underestimatable. Ooh, that's a nice invented word right there. Underestimatable, wow, stroke, importance. It's one of the most important factors, I think. That's no focus. There's no focus right there. I mean, I'm focused, I'm dialed in, I can tell you that much, but there's no focus in terms of like the actual ring focus. You understand what I'm getting at? Still no ancient puzzle ring, and I know we need one of those for a later phase in our altar of rites. What were we working on? Just a quick checkup. Just a quick annual checkup. You know, what were we working on? I guess this is what we're working on right now. They already have this unlocked as well. Critical hit grants resource, and they are also looking for this. Pets pick up salvage. Oh yeah, okay, we want that for sure. That's something we definitely want that. My brain is working too quickly for my mouth to keep up again. A problem I often have. Also with writing sometimes. Sometimes the brain just does what the brain wants, and your mouth or your writing skills, your hand cannot keep up. Quickly check whether my friend is online yet. He is not, so I think I'll just try to... Do I do the Act 2 bounties to gain the gloves? I mean, they are good gloves, but then I will not double the amount of that bread that drops anymore, so maybe just leave it out of here for now. Let's just row your boat when it is going to the stream, down the stream already, and don't get out of the boat and try to walk along the river. Think about that for a while. What I meant to say by that is, and I just completely started absolutely bullshitting you, so if you thought something insightful or cool was coming, you are at the wrong YouTube channel. I'm no Tim the Moss, I'm no Tim Ferriss, I am no Bo Miles, I am no other insightful YouTubers, please, brain. Fucking, I don't know, Mike Boyd has some interesting thing to say about his learning journey sometimes. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy, really. Just spitting out nonsense left, right, and center here on this YouTube channel. But I am glad that you guys give me the opportunity to do this with my time. Which is a weird statement to say, because I'm purely giving myself this opportunity, considering I'm not earning any money of this still. So it's just me investing my time in a manner that I think meaningful. And as you know, I think playing action RPGs is a meaningful investment of time. Could I be studying right now, trying to look for a cure for cancer? Yes. Could I be becoming a better therapist right now? Yes. Do I feel like I'm also becoming a little bit of a better therapist just by playing this game? Yes. Okay, that's a statement right there. That's a statement and a half. You people might be thinking, what the hell is he spitting? What's he yapping about? What's the little bro yapping about? Let me entertain you with my thoughts for a second. I always see it as anything I'm doing to develop myself as a person is also developing me as a therapist, because the two of them are intertwined beyond understanding. Like you can't just be a person and not be your therapist self in the meantime. Both of them happen at the same time. They are simultaneous. They are synonyms almost. They are not even reflections of each other. It's even more contemporary than that, you know. It's happening even more at the same time than being a reflection of the other part. And not only playing games and relaxing, and therefore my mental health, supporting my mental health is helping me at this point in time. Speaking English, speaking my mind, trying to ramble, and at the same time also just formulate some philosophical thoughts in the process. That's really, really what keeps me going. That's what funds my mind. That's what kind of feeds my mind. That's what's fuel for my mind. Fuels my mind. That's the word I was actually looking for. I feel like this practice of just talking is really, really great for my thinking capacity. And I think I need my thinking capacity. Ooh. Difficult decisions to be made. It's not ancient. I think I need my thinking capacity to be a good therapist as well. So then it comes full circle. Plus 1.1% damage. Don't mind if I do. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. We're not switching back ever. Plus spitter, that's what I use to calm my penis. No thank you, no thank you, no thank you. What do we do here? Minus 70% damage. That's... oof. That's rough. That's very rough. What happens if we head into a regular old Nephilim Rift with this bad boy? Because this is the point, this is the main thing that has been missing from our build, and now we can really start multi-shotting quickly, but the damage is just too low. Or is it? I'm not certain. I'm not convinced. I think I like... oh yeah, when I kill elites or try to kill elites, I definitely notice that I prefer this bow by a large margin. But what we are mainly also looking for still now is that ethereal item that copies the effect of Yang's recurve, which is the bow we have right here. I know its name by heart because I have played many multi-shot demon hunters in my time, even some impale demon hunters where you can get a drop as well and get confronted with the name, get name dropped if you will. There's an ethereal weapon with the same effect, I think. And that's what we are looking for still right now. That's really what makes the build come together right now. Come all over me. I think that's the way the song goes, right? That's what we still need. Other than that, the build is quite complete, except for focus, of course. But for now, I think this Yang's recurve is not gonna provide enough incentive for me to actually use it in our build. I think I would rather have some of the raw, unadulterated, unique, uncut damage that this ethereal weapon is providing for us. But it's nice to finally see it at least. Would have been great to have it earlier, but these ethereal weapons are just in such a different class. They are really in a class all of its own, all of their own rather, so that it doesn't matter what regular legendary items you find. Although, there is of course a case to be made for making this bow primal and then experiencing the difference, but we don't have any primal resources, because if we would have that, well, we wouldn't be here anymore. Not in terms of ending our life, also not in terms of suicidality for sure, but the video would have ended. So yeah, I mean, booyah, you know? Light blue items are all I care about, therefore, at this point in time. Yesterday, me and my girlfriend finished watching Notting Hill. Classic movie, I think, but I hadn't watched it before. Wow, there's a party going on over there. I had never watched it before. I am really bad with the names of actresses, but I'm gonna try and come up with the actress's name, because I know that she is a very famous one. It's not Angelina Jolie. It's not Demi Moore. It is Julia fucking Roberts, if I'm not mistaken. Right? I think it's Julia Roberts. And then there was a guy there playing some kind of role too. I don't know. I mean, there's a woman on screen. Of course, I only look at the woman. That's complete and utter malarkey. That's not how I view the beautiful art form that is movies, and that's not how I view life. My nose is fucking itchy, man. God damn it. But Julia Roberts had like the main biggest part, I think. That's not true. I think the person's part, I think his name was Hugh Grant, really, is of equal importance. But it was a great movie. And I will tell you all about it if I remember to talk about it in the next episode. And with the next episode, I mean the next part of this episode. Become immortal, my friend. I would love to give you these shoulders as well, to be honest, so that I don't have to repair constantly. This is also a nice belt for you to have, to be completely honest. And it's also nice because that emanates, but this emanates already, right? Yes. The 412th Justice Lantern. Taneta Spite is the other one. I don't think we're gonna be using it soon. Yang's Recurve. Am I gonna keep it to make it primal? No. Goodbye. Let me just get focused right now and that'll be a nice end off to this episode. But you see, of course, I need to get it by upgrading one of these rings just randomly. Fuck you. Alright, see you in the next one. That's the next part. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, it's on. Okay. Maybe if I checked that before I started half an hour recording sessions, my life would be a little bit easier. Enjoy this sped up footage of me rambling to myself for half an hour and then realizing that the microphone was not actually on for some stupid, godforsaken, who knows what reason. I'm not salty about it, I'm not mad. Almost threw my computer out that window, but I'm completely fine. And not just Ross's friend's fine, where he's fine, but I'm really fine. Hi. I might cry. That's 28 minutes of footage down the drain. Because for some reason my mic was not working. And I know this sounds weird. I know this is gonna sound strange, but that really was some of the best commentary I've ever done for YouTube, I think. I'm gonna stop this recording session, take a little breather, and then we're just gonna get into it again. Wow, that sucks. Nobody's gonna watch this video up until this point, or this video in general either way, so I guess it doesn't matter, but it hurts, because that's 28 minutes of my life. Not wasted, but not shared with you guys. Ah, fuck me. Hello, welcome. Those things happen, right? If I'm too stubborn to make sure that I check whether my mic is working every single time I get into a recording session, then I guess it's my own problem, and I guess I need to deal with the consequences. As a little bit of a what am I called? Hey, Tora, no. As a little bit of a comforting action, let's look for another pet. Let's change up our pet for a while. I always love this guy. I love having a cow. Yeah, let's get Lamp in here, you know? A little fellow adventurer. Don't ever talk to me or my son ever again. Okay. Get my head back in the game. I spent half an hour talking authentically about my YouTube career. Talking about the movie Notting Hill, as I promised. I told you guys, I even went back into my recordings, but I can't hear my mic audio there because I recorded in multiple layers. It doesn't really matter. I even went back into DaVinci Resolve to listen to what was it that I was going to talk about in the next episode, just to make sure that you guys were up to speed, or that I kept talking about what I wanted to talk about. Like I want to talk about my kitty destroying the plant in my room and me throwing her out right now. I also talked a lot, and this was I was so happy with this discussion that I had with myself, and I guess with you guys as well, about my love for language and expressing myself in novel and unique ways. My vocabulary, my grammar, which is shit, my pronunciation, which is even worse than shit, but how I love using words and how great it is that my job as a therapist aligns with that, my hobby, my passion, my life goal of becoming a YouTuber aligns with that as well, and how I love you guys giving me the opportunity to express myself in so many different ways, shapes and forms. I use the word quaint in a very beautiful context. I'm tooting my own horn, but I don't care. When talking about the use of the English language of the main character in Notting Hill, which I guess we will get into shortly again. I'll try to reanimate my passion for the movie, even though I have already talked about it for half an hour, and I'll share my thoughts and opinions about it again. I talked about Diablo quite a lot because we achieved quite some upgrades. One of the main things is we upgraded our Greater Rift build with some of the right gems. We're still missing Mana Trap. We got this item equipped, which allows us to stay a lot more tankier. We created an ancient Captain Crimson's girdle and are looking for the boots. We upgraded some of our Templar gear by giving him the right rings with damage reducing legendary gems in them as well. We decided to shift our Paragon leveling from Vitality back into Dexterity. I decided that just now because I feel like we are not dying that much at all. We got the gloves that allow shrine effects to last for eternity almost, or close to eternity at least, from the Act 2 bounties. We even got 2 pairs of gloves from that. We talked about how we still need focus, and we rolled a lot for that in Kadala. We upgraded some of our legendary gems to be level 25, like the one that has a chance to stun enemies. Bane of the Trapped. Alright. So this one to level 25. Now I'm upgrading this one to level 50. Just for the fun of it, because we're gonna have to head into... Ooh, Flavor of Time. That's what we're still looking for. We're still gonna have to head into normal rifts sooner or later to get some Greater Rift keystones. If we get focus right now, I will be happy. Everything will have been forgotten. Not quite the case, but it's stupid. It's my own stupidity. But you don't expect it to happen, even though it has happened multiple times already. It's even happened in Diablo before. Cool. That would have been cool, an ancient upgrade, but we don't need that right now. Don't need that either. Ooh, it has a socket in it as well, even. Okay. Booyah. Beautiful stuff. Is there any legendary gem we want to give to our follower? I think we might do this to make him... Well, no, we don't. Actually, we don't need to do any of this because he is not dying, so this is all useless, but hey, it looks cool at least. And now we have the Flavor of Time, so that's nice. Now, finally, our pylons will last twice as long. They will last twice as long. Main components we're still looking for remains the same. Focus and the weapon. The weapon is the real big build changer. I think we don't need this right now. We would rather have this. Let's save our build. Save, okay. Store away these legendary gems. And then let's get into some more rifting. Huh. I guess you could say that I should do some bounties right now as well. In order for... Because it's a new recording session, if we're completely honest with it. I might not go head into bounties, but I might just clear out a random zone in the hopes of one of those blue portals appearing, because they give a lot of bounty materials as well. And it brings me closer to my ancient legendary belt that I'm still looking for. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I can say what I want about, like, yeah, this happens, this is the life of a YouTuber. Deal with it and record again. The fly is bothering me as well. But I feel that my voice has a struggle to sound enthusiastic. And Onkruid viewers know that it often does. Like, I am the driest piece of shit out there. And my intonation is sometimes just shit. It's something I'm very self-conscious about and something I want to change. Because I feel like it adds so much value if you have some different cadence in your voice, if you have some different tempos of speech, if you have some different sounds. If you sound like you actually are happy to be here for once, like it can make the video a lot more enjoyable. But I need to invest more time and effort into that, I think. Someone like Ludwig, the content creator, has a beautiful, beautiful sense of doing that. He has a beautiful way of bringing intonation into his voice. And he always sounds excited to talk to you. And that brings excitement to you as a viewer. I'm just sitting here. I'm just spitballing. I'm just rambling. He's like, okay, boys, today, the plan is simple. You know, I felt today like a little bit. And that's enticing. That draws you in. Keeps you hooked like a nice amount of crack cocaine. Heroin. That's another drug, and that's a segue into talking about Notting Hill, the movie again. I talked a little bit about how, if any of you guys watched the movie yet, and you want to give me some of your own opinions on it, by all means, please do, because I love hearing about other people's opinions, and I love sharing my own opinions, even though I often don't do it, unless people directly ask me about my opinion. That's not the weapon I'm looking for. I love hearing other people's opinions though. So definitely shed some light on your view on that movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's a classic movie, but I had never seen it before. And I talked a little bit about, for example, how much I enjoy the concept of one of the main characters or one of the characters in a book, in a film, in a game, in any medium, in any entertainment medium, or just any form of content that you can consume at all. Interesting. Goodbye. I enjoy it so thoroughly when it is a literary person himself, when he is literate, when he is a professor, when he is into books, when he is into poetry, when he is into knowing things. I give the example of Stephen Hawking in Theory of Everything. I gave the example of a character in The Wheel of Time. Small spoiler for the 6th book, but when Rand creates his universities to study all kinds of things, there's this character displayed there that is like, oh yeah, I really have... He has books lining the walls and every single square inch of his study room. He is always in conversation, he is always thinking about everything, he's a true philosopher. And he even tells Rand once like, hey, stop bringing girls over. Don't bring the girl over anymore because she is way too distracting for me. And that's a Sigma male grind set, you know? That is really what I aspire to be, in a sense. I don't want it to impede on my social skills, but I think that's how we got into the whole topic of... Well, how I got, because you guys were not even there to hear it. Into the topic of loving the English language, because expressing myself... using words, using crazy expressions, using new words, using concepts that make no sense to some people is an expression of my love of the English language. And it's also, I think, an expression of that way of being that I want to achieve and that I want to outwardly portray myself as having. Of like being literate, being good at speaking, public speaking, private speaking, any form of speaking. Being able to bend this social construct of language that we have developed throughout thousands of years as humans, starting with the Tower of Babel, being able to bend it to my will in order to entice readers, listeners, viewers in this case, to hang onto my lips. I think that's why I talked about my love for the language. But in general, in A Theory of Mind, it's beautiful. In A Theory of Everything, it's beautiful. A Beautiful Mind and A Theory of Everything. And now also here in this movie, not that he is so much flexing with his literary knowledge or with his books and stuff like that, but he's still the owner of a bookshop, and that fills in that void that I'm looking for. And it fills in the role that I want to fill in as well. And I also realized that I greatly appreciate biopics. I appreciate movies about certain individuals that really focus on them. Focus on them and not on anything else, or not on like a vast amount of characters, right? Really up close and personal with a person and his environment. And his near environment. Something like Theory of Everything, something like now Notting Hill. Movies that focus on the dialogue between people. The Social Network, another one of my most loved movies. The Moneyball movie with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. one of my most, and Chris Pratt, one of my most loved movies. Absolutely adore that movie. And now Notting Hill gets added onto that list. I made the heroine transition because in one of the scenes, the main character, Mr. Thacker, I believe his name is William, talks about how it feels like he struck his veins with a nasty, nasty form of love heroin. He talks about this because his friends are trying to set him up with new dates, new people to forget about Miss Anna Scott, who came parading into his life and completely rocked his world. And he felt like it made no sense to try and forget her because it was no use. Every single waking moment was still spent thinking about her, was still spent giving her all his energy and all the space in his brain. And I talked about how I found that to be a beautiful portrayal of what love can be. That even missing somebody for a second already feels too long. And it got me thinking, wow, I'm glad that I remember so much of my own conversation, but I think it is missing a little bit of that enthusiastic note, and it's missing intonation again, because I already talked about all this, but it got me thinking about my client I saw yesterday, quite a young client, and how he is now experiencing love for the first time. Maybe he wouldn't call it love yet, but to me it sounds like love. And how he has similar feelings, that 2 days of not being able to talk to his sweetheart, well, that sounds cringe if I say it like that, but I digress, already feels like hell. Already feels like an eternity, feels insurmountable, feels unbearable. And I think that's a sign that you are head over heels in love, that the butterflies are really running rampant in your stomach. And I think that's exactly what the main character in Notting Hill was experiencing. One of the things I also talked about, and I really, really loved in the movie, is the side characters and the stories they experience themselves, the experiences they have, and how you get little glimpses into this as a viewer of the movie, but they don't explicitly go into too much detail about all of that. And a beautiful example, I think, is, spoiler alert, the marriage between the main character's brother and his roommate Spike. Another great example is the restaurant career that one of their friends have. You get in the opening scenes, I think, a little remark about how one of their architect friends is now opening a restaurant, and then one of the closing scenes is them shutting down that restaurant with him because it sucked, it didn't perform well. You get an insight into how he used to be in love with one of his friends that is now sitting in a wheelchair because of an accident, and how that love was stolen from him by his best friend Ernie. And you don't get to see how it happened. You don't get to feel the pain he went through in that situation as well, but it's just quickly touched upon. And I really love it. It adds a lot of depth to all the characters without exploring it on screen in its entirety. And I feel like that's valuable. That's worthwhile that's a worthwhile way to get your side characters in the movie. You get the viewers enhanced. I think I would rather have this potion to get them really feeling for those characters, even if they don't get that much screen time or that much attention. I just said screen time. You know, when Ernie in the movie is like, yeah, so I took her from you. Scream time? Look, okay, this is my second half an hour recording. My brain is not in a humoristic sense anymore. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I actually want to go to sleep. What am I talking about? What I want to do is have a nice evening together with my girlfriend. We're going to a restaurant and we're going to the movies as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. 21 Greater Rift Keystones remaining, but we are almost out of gold. This is the final Empowered Rift we can do, but I think I will do it. And I will do one more after that, because then our money dropping gem will be level 50, its maximum level, and then it will be most worthwhile for us to get back into the money farming business in regular rifts. My pronunciation has become slurry, has become messy, has become sloppy. And those, don't get me wrong, those are all characteristics that you want to hear about when you're talking about blowjobs, but not when you're talking about a YouTube commentator, of which the channel is mainly focused on his commentary. Maybe my sense of humor has not died at all, but maybe only sexual humor is making its comeback here on the Onkruid channel, and it has been a large factor in my life, as you guys know. What else did I like about the movie? I liked his way of speaking, as I already said, his way of expressing himself. I liked her appreciation of that. I liked the portrayal of her falling slowly in love with him, being doubtful about whether she really can give up her own life. I liked how they gave each other multiple second chances. I think that's a beautiful portrayal of what needs to happen in successful relationships. You don't need to encounter problems, but if you do encounter problems together, you need to talk about them. You need to experience them together, and you then need to forgive each other and move on. Leave the past in the past. Not immediately forgive and forget, because some things can have quite a lasting impact on people, of course, but you don't necessarily need to keep on focusing on working through what happened together. In continuing your relationship, in rediscovering your love for each other, in moving forward and developing your love for each other yet again, or even bringing it further than it already was potentially beforehand. That's where the meat and potatoes lie of finding success in repairing relationships, not in staying stuck in the past. I made a little video about this related to when you discover adultery, when you discover promiscuity, when you discover an affair in your relationship, how there's 3 types of people surrounding this. There's people stuck in the past, there's people trying to work on what happened, and then there's also a third kind of people that just are trying to be architects towards the future, trying to focus on what they can learn from this and how they can maybe even change their relationship for the better. In, for example, maybe creating more openness in a sense of going out with other people even though they are together. That's something that promiscuity can drive you towards. But don't get me wrong, if you're thinking about how you want your relationship to be more open, this is beautiful advice I got from a relationship therapist that I'm friends with and colleagues with. If you're thinking about doing that, by all means, talk about it first and don't just start being promiscuous if you feel like your relationship has to be open. An open relationship cannot be the solution towards problems you're feeling, towards the lack of love you're feeling towards your own partner. But it can be a nice bonus in your relationship if both parties involved are open to it and are willing to do it, and if both parties involved are benefiting from it. If it is just there because one person wants to sleep around and wants to have sex with multiple people, that's gonna probably get you into some conflict. The chances are quite large, I think. And I think Esther Perel thinks that as well. And people like John Gottman probably think that as well, of the Gottman Institute. I think it's not a new sentiment, but that's something my relationship therapist friend, who also is very much into Esther Perel, talked to me about. So by all means, talk about it first. But no, I'm getting diverted, I'm getting distracted. We were talking about the movie for this part of the recording. Let's see what else I like about it. I like the simplicity. No fancy effects, no fancy VFX. The soundtrack didn't play a large role in the movie, but it fulfills its duty of being there, of filling up the background. And a great example of how simple that movie is, and how it's not about the craziness of scenes or the craziness of effects or stunts, is that one of the things that seems to be the most intense in that movie, because the camera really like makes an epic transition into multiple shots of the same action scene, is when they speed up their car a tiny little bit to drive over a curb. That's the extent of like craziness that movie entails, and they don't need it. The beauty, the meat and potatoes, is really in the dialogue, is really in the interaction between the characters, is really in how they discuss what's happening around them. It's almost feeling like an Aaron Sorkin movie. Is that the correct? No, that's not the correct. It's not the correct guy. Dialogue writer, The Social Network. Aaron Sorkin. My brain keeps astounding me. Even after being in this recording session for 52 minutes now, even after being in this Diablo video for probably like an hour and a half almost, I still got it, you know? I can still think about things in a concise manner and actually make sense of things. I get 2 little legendary rings. I'm gonna start upgrading some of them. If that was focused, I would have probably shit my pants. One more shot. Don't want to waste all my materials on an endeavor like this. Nope. That's fine. Completely fine. We're also still looking for Ramalatni's gifts, of course. Both for a socket in our weapon, but also for our altar of rights. Okay, it's level 50 now, right? Multi-rift. Equip. Okay. Equip both of these. We don't need any of them socketed, do we? I think we definitely do. I don't think we need that regeneration. Nephilim Rifts. Well, apparently we do. Oh, because of the Absorb Shield. And that always that always enables Squirt's Necklace passive. Let's get into some regular rifts for now to end off this recording session and to just farm some gold. Shall we? I think we shall. Or, first of all, let's just randomly get into a location. Maybe go towards the keyword, but what we're actually looking for here is gold, which is already stacking up nicely as we're speaking, but also the blue portal. Because that gives us such an immense amount of bounty materials that we really can use it to create our ancient belt. And in the future, possibly also to upgrade some of our altar of rights steps. Infernal Machine cleared. Do I want to just clear out this whole zone looking for the portal? Do I want to look for another key warden? I'm not certain, but at this point in time, I love the way this is going, where I'm just clearing out entire screens with one click. And the way my massacre bonus is still going as well. From experience is never gonna not feel nice, even if it's a suboptimal way of gathering the experience, because of course greater rifts are optimal. I think I need to, well, I don't think, I know I still need to equip my Avarice Band and Double Dead's Breath equipment on my Templar, so that's something we need to do if we really want to get into rifts for a while, and I do want to get into rifts for a while, so I think we'll clear out like 2 or 3 more packs, although the Cursed Chest gives us quite a large opportunity to open up one of those blue portals. Not if it's another one of those Cursed Chests, goddammit. Level me up, Skadi. 1 Paragon level. As I said, the experience is not amazing anymore. We want to equip all 3 of these on our follower. Did we? I think we did. Yes. Okay. No blue portal to be seen so far, but we've gathered quite a lot of gold already. Let's just do the key wardens now that we're here, right? Dalgur Oasis. Dalgur Oasis, just pronounce it correctly. There's no need for you to say it in such a crazy manner. It's not like we opened up a portal here already. No, clearly not. And now our Avarice Band can start doing work. And we will pick up the gold a little bit more easily and leave none behind, as true warriors do. Is there anything else I have to say about Notting Hill? Pacing of the movie was great. Obviously there's some like minor plot holes, weird decisions, like the fact that she randomly falls in love with a guy selling her a boring book about Egypt or Turkey or something like that. It's a little bit of a fairy tale story, but it's a movie, for crying out loud. Let it be a fairy tale story. That's part of the beauty, you know? And romances like that definitely exist in the world. They might be rare. They might exist mostly in movies and in books and stuff, but they do exist. Give them a chance to flourish. Give them a chance to be enjoyed. Even if they are not the most realistic portrayal of how relationships can start up, they are a portrayal. And they are valuable. Valuable to say the least. If I don't get a blue portal in the next 3 minutes, I will flip my shit. Especially because I'm gonna end off this recording session because we have hit the half-hour mark. But I just want some bounty materials, you know? I want to have some opportunities to fucking smith some belts in the hopes of getting an ancient legendary belt. Those are the small types of gear upgrades that we are investing in at this point in time, at this point of our Diablo career, and I want to invest in them. Okay, Act 4, then finally, I never see where it is here. It's the Gardens of Hope. Tier 2 is where we are headed. If we were not rudely interrupted. by the little flying ball. If anybody's still here, give me a soup recipe. If anybody's still here and they give me a soup recipe, I promise you I will make it on camera. Don't make it anything crazy or anything stupid. Just like a soup recipe you enjoy. I made soup today. I made some zucchini soup. Some courgette soup. Delicious. It's not as thick as I would have hoped my soup to be, as I like my women, but it is tasty. It's nice and salty. There's some tartiness to it, some heartiness and tartiness to it. Yeah, I enjoyed the process of making that soup. But again, could have been better, possibly. Could have definitely been a lot worse as well. Where are the blue portals? I feel like whenever you're not focused on doing that, they always pop up and you feel like, no, I'm in bounties right now. I don't have the time to do these blue portals. And now, here we are, looking for one desperately, not acquiring any at all. I want one of them. That's how I want to end off this episode, you know, just one. Let's just randomly do Act 4 bounties then, I guess, until we find one. Okay, we're focused on bounties now. Do you hear me, Blizzard? Do you hear me, Battle.net? We're focused on bounties right now. We're not looking for the blue portal anymore. Bounties is what we're here for. If it pops up in the next couple of packs of mobs, we know what's going on, right? We know Big Brother is watching us, and we know that the people from Blizzard are just laughing at us from up above. Man, I sure do hope one of those blue portals doesn't come up right now, because I'm focused on my bounties and I don't want to get out of here. I don't think it's gonna pop up in the archive, so I guess we are safe there. Am I gonna rewatch the movie? It's another thing I talked about. Potentially. I have been known to rewatch some movies, especially with other people in the room. Other people that have not watched the movie or have not watched the movie with me. For example, at one of my surprise birthday parties, my girlfriend threw for me, surprise pizza party. Afterwards, with the people that still wanted to stay around, we watched Good Will Hunting together. That was so much fun. I think this is one that I might rewatch again. Probably also mainly just to hear Mr. Thacker speak again. Again, that's so near and dear to my heart, people speaking like him. Speaking in such a quaint manner. Quaint being old-fashioned, being beautifully old-fashioned, being a bit weird, being a bit quirky, but in a just like an old way. That's my use of the word, which I was so proud of, so I wanted to use it again. I was looking for the opportunity, and here we are again. I might watch it again just to enjoy it for sure, just to enjoy it a little bit further, but in a while probably. It's not like a movie that I feel like, okay, I need to rewatch right now, but I'll definitely give it another shot in the future. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to rewatching movies. I'm not opposed to rereading books, although most of the time my brain tells me something like, no, you need to read the new thing, you need to watch the new movie. And that's, I think, where I get tricked into always consuming more and more, instead of mindfully really taking the time to consume what is laying in front of me right now. While reading a book, I'm sometimes already thinking about the next book that I want to read, and I will want to finish the book that I'm reading at that point in time as quickly as possible in order to get closer to... Excuse me. Get closer to the reading of my next book. Kill Sledge. They used to call me in high school. Easy enough. Drop some bracers for our trouble. The gods are not listening to us, by the way. We haven't seen a blue portal yet. But now we will, right? For sure. Almost died there by standing in that area. Come on. We need to kill some areas in this area. We need to kill some areas in this area still. We need to kill some monsters in this area still. The perfect opportunity for a nice blue portal to appear for us to gain some bounty materials. I just want to make some nice absorbing paper towels, you know? I need the materials. It's a poor joke. That's a very bad joke. I might have touched upon this in the recording session that was actually recorded. I might have touched upon this beforehand. Me and my girlfriend are about to watch Deadpool Wolverine tonight, and I'm really looking forward to the humor in that as well. Often funny movies. I'm not that big into action movies. I'm more into biopics, into psychological movies, into dialogue-heavy movies, but I'm still going to be open-minded. I'm still going to enjoy it. I quite enjoyed the first two Deadpool movies because they are quite funny sometimes. Of course, it's sometimes over the top, but the over the topness can make it funny as well, you know? So that's where the beauty of that comes in. If I don't get a blue portal in this zone, I'm afraid we will not end off the episode or not end off this part of the recording as I hope to, because I feel like I am too tired to continue on with this. I need a little break from recording. Might need another cup of coffee, although I'm thinking about, I'm playing with the idea, I'm pondering upon drinking a little energy drink when I'm at the movies, because it's something I don't often do. I only do it when we are at the Outpost Gaming Center and when we play League for the entire day, but the craving is there, you know, the little itch is itching. So I might do that, and drinking my third coffee of the day together with then drinking that energy drink, I might get no sleep at all, which is something I don't want, because I have a client tomorrow at 8 in the morning, so I need some sleep at least. I'll think about it. Although I do feel like a nice cup of coffee could really hit the spot. What about a cup of coffee together with a little recording session downstairs of one of my videos on The Gift of Therapy by Irvin Yalom? Ooh, now you're speaking my language. Now you really, and you know what's coming, because I've said it myriad times, I'm saying it in abundance, but I'm gonna say it again. That would butter my egg roll. God damn it, it would. Ooh. Maybe a little snack, maybe a little cookie as well, or a little piece of chocolate. Also put the soup away that I made, because it's still outside of the fridge right now is what I'm realizing. Yeah, there's only benefits to be found in getting a little cup of coffee, taking my camera downstairs, maybe sitting outside, but, well, I need to watch the kitties a little bit, so oh, my massacre bonus, goddammit, 508, and it still didn't even level me up once. I can record downstairs though, that's already a nice step up from recording just behind my desk, so that's something that I might invest some of my time in, together with the coffee, together with the cookie. Yeah, that sounded like a nice plan for today, or for the near future of today, I guess, because there's more to this day than just that. Sorry if you hear that siren. I'm really enjoying Into the Wild, the book. It's a movie I also thoroughly enjoyed, because again, biopic, focuses on the psychology of one person, focuses on a lot of dialogues and monologues and internal dialogues and just nature, zen, Walden type feelings, the call to nature and giving into that call, which are all things that I really enjoy. A lot of philosophy, a lot of ideology, and a lot of never finding any blue portals at all. Sucks. Feels bad, man. But hey, not every endeavor can always be successful. At least, in my opinion, we made a lot of progress this episode. Some shared with you, some not shared with you, for which I'm really sorry. But that's life sometimes. See you in the next part. Hi, hello, and welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to part 5, maybe? Maybe 4? Not sure, considering the whole fiasco last time. Okay, my mic is on, just a quick check. It still lingers in my mind as being something completely stupid and dumb. But hey, we move on. We move on and we don't care about it all too much. What I'm gonna start with is some Act 4 bounties. I'm not necessarily looking for any items anymore, but I'm still looking for those blue portals, and in addition to that, I am just doing Act 4 bounties, because the Act 4 material is the material we still need most of in order to start crafting potential ancient legendary versions of our build. It's a little bit of min-maxing. It might not be actually worth my time, but hey, I need to do something before I head into the rifts, right? That's, by the way, not true at all. I don't need to do anything before heading in the rift. I should definitely just head into the rift as quickly as possible. I thought so. I was like, this vengeance cooldown is way too long. We didn't change up our cube yet. Our cubed items for this build. So let's just head over here like this. And you have to become Dawn. And I think you also... yeah, you definitely also just become this. Okay, interesting. So our build we were using for random bounty farming was not even fully tailored to our needs yet. I also applied this black dye to our entire gear set, and I think it looks a little sexy, you know? At least a little sexy. Okay, now things should be going a lot smoother already, considering we have our vengeance up almost permanently, if not permanently, but I think we're coming close to the permanent mark, but I don't think we have it permanently yet. And I'm not quite sure how we're actually supposed to increase our cooldown reduction, because I know that the build, in theory, requires you to have permanent vengeance. I didn't quite check it. Cooldown 90 seconds, but I can't see the actual cooldown with my cooldown reduction. I should pay a little bit of attention to it this time. It's Wednesday, my dudes. That's also just a blatant lie. It's Thursdays already. Time goes fast when you're having fun. I had 3 clients already today. Have 2 more in the evening. Have a little bit of a break in between the therapy right now. Okay, I think we are very, very close, if not at the level of having vengeance up permanently. So that is very, very nice and exactly what we are looking for. I enjoyed the sessions I had today already. They were positive. They went well. I feel like I meant something for the people that I saw today already. 2 clients coming up in the evening. They are meaningful collaborations that I have started up with those clients as well. Meaningful travels we are on, meaningful journeys. I feel like I always tend to use the word trajectory because in Belgium, in the Dutch language, we often say a therapie traject, which is kind of like a therapy trajectory. So I think that's why I lean to the use of that word, but in reality, I feel like trajectory is such a weird word to describe what therapy is all about. Journey, adventure, those are all way better words. They might be a little bit less clear, something like an adventure, something like a journey, but I feel like they provide a more accurate description and are just a more fun word than trajectory, which sounds so formal and serious. Therapy is a bit serious, doesn't always have to be serious. My plan was to spend a whole lot of time recording content in between those therapy sessions, but in the end I spent a whole lot of time doing practical stuff, which is, I guess, also nice, necessary, needed, so I shouldn't be mad about that. It's time that I can then later invest in other things, but it was not the most pleasant afternoon so far. We had to write up a couple of reports from sessions that I did earlier and that I was postponing. Does this guy have the right items? Yes, he does. That I was postponing a little bit. So that already took up a lot of time. Then after that, I spent some time answering my emails, which also took some time. And then, the real kicker, I started preparing my therapy education for the next year, which is starting next weekend. Preparing in a sense of making sure I download every document I can download already, making sure I have little folders on my USB for every class that I will have, putting everything in my agenda correctly, including like where the classes will take place, the specific rooms and stuff. It took a while. It's a tedious task to do it all in advance. I even prepared a Word document already for every single class. It indicated like things like dates, things like which professor I had, things like which books I needed to read. Additionally, I also ordered 2 more books that I need to read. Wow, so the fucking whatchamacallit, Nemesis bracers pop for every single shrine, huh? Well, I guess these are just cursed shrines, so maybe they automatically spawn these minions, but I don't think so. I think we are focusing, or we are creating a lot more elites for us because of the gear setup we are using. And Nemesis bracers is part of a gear setup I think almost every single build in Diablo uses, especially since it is equipable on your followers, so it's not that unique, but I didn't experience it before in this event. I guess I don't often do Act 4 bounties because you don't get any materials from that you can really use. And with materials, I mean items. Act 4, if you don't know, drops random items from all the other acts combined, from all the other act bounties combined. So it's often no use to clear it. If you want to have some extra chance of dropping Rings of Royal Grandeurs, then by all means, but it's way better to just restart your game and do Act 1 bounties, of course. Which is, I think, the meta, and I think what everybody does, so not really any reason, or not that many reasons to actually use or actually complete Act 4 bounties. Except for right now, when you're missing the material. And when there was no other way to collect the material, when the blue portals did not exist yet into the Twilight Realm, then of course you had to complete Act 4 bounties, because you need to gather the material for a lot of things, for a lot of cube recipes, for example. At this point in time though, there's more efficient techniques available. There's different meta, that's what that little abbreviation stands for if you didn't know, to collect the materials. If the portal spawns, because what's a man gotta do to get some of those portals up in this bitch, you know? I feel like I have not seen one for eternity, whereas normally they pop up left, right, and center. We've mainly been doing Greater Rifts, which is a location they cannot pop up, so I guess I need to be just a little bit more patient, but just give me one. Just give me one and I will be satisfied. Just give me one to show me that it still exists, that it's a possibility to actually get those, because at this point in time, by now, I've become a little bit doubtful. We need to kill one more enemy for our bounty. Oh! Our prayers. Our prayers have been answered. Let that be a valuable life lesson for you. If you just complain enough, things will go your way. That's exactly what I tell almost all of my clients, you know? Just complain a bit more, and you will be happier. Satire. I don't tell them that. I tell them that they are allowed to complain, because a lot of people tell me like, oh, I'm not allowed to complain. Oh shit, it's one of these. Okay. A lot of people tell me, yeah, no, I'm not allowed to complain, because a lot of people have it a lot harder than I do. And I tell them, no, you always have the right to complain. Everybody has the right to complain. I'm sorry if this makes my Diablo crash, because my multi-shots are just not appearing anymore. I think we got all of them. Let's start picking up some gems and some of the crafting materials. I'm not gonna pick up all of the yellow items, even though you can of course use the veiled crystals, I guess. But I don't want to lose too much time on this. Oh man, the dopamine hit is still there, you know. It might be a little bit less than when you used to get some of the things, because at this point in time, Diablo has been so optimized, your builds have been so optimized that things like this don't really matter all that much anymore, but it still feels so nice to have an inventory full of legendary items that never get sold. Sure, we gave up our streak, our kill streak here, but I think it was worth it to pick up all the crafting materials, all the Dead's Breath. And in general, we are just clearing this out to gain access to the final chest that what these portals provides, because that final chest, that final chest provides us with a whole lot of bounty materials. Finally we got one again. I feel like we really had to be patient, had to wait for a while. Our inventory might be full. And there we go, another set completed. Not really looking for that. We are still looking for the goddamn Ramalatni's gifts. And of course, for our weapons still. But I don't need to tell you guys about that, because I feel like I've told you guys about that in this video myriad times already. Last recording session, we talked a lot about the movie Notting Hill twice in a row. Don't want to waste any more or spend any more time on that, because I want to talk about a novel subject if possible. We might need to head into town if our inventory keeps filling up like this, but we can't really, because heading back to town means walking out of this entire thing, or walking back into this entire thing. Don't stand still like that, buddy, you know better than that. And I guess I should just spend a little bit less time picking up all these legendary items, because we will surely have enough Forgotten Souls to do what we want by now. A belt I will pick up, because it doesn't take up a lot of inventory space. We don't need all of that Dead's Breath. A potion I will pick up, because we can always find something better. Rings I will pick up as well, because I feel like we are still looking for our ring, or we are still looking for ancient varieties of some of our rings for sure. Set items I do want to pick up, because if there is a possibility that it is an ancient variety of one of the sets I'm wearing, that will just be a raw damage upgrade. So by all means, get out of my inventory. Nice little yellow items. Just keep on moving along. Jesus Christ, okay, we dropped so many items that the sound bugged. Do we want to really be dropping stuff to check all of this? I don't think we do. Let's do it anyway though. We are not using these. Yeah, I guess that's fine. The amulet. I want to check the amulet real quickly. Maybe it squirts. It's not. Let's drop it again. Let's move on to the next floor. Shoulders. It's not the shoulders I need, especially because I picked up a blue item. It is the shoulders I need, so we're keeping that. A set ring that might be focused, so I definitely want to pick that up. Let's drop this random bow because we're never gonna use it either way. Things are getting messy in terms of inventory management, but I hope you guys bear with me. You don't need a two-handed sword. I don't even care what that legendary was. Okay, the blue portal can end now. I'm glad that they gave it to me. I'm glad that they showed me that it still exists, but at this point in time, we don't need any more of it. Please, just give me the final floor. And I think we are getting close. We don't need these. We don't need these. Is this our quiver? It's not our quiver. We must be getting close to the final floor, right? Yes, here we are. Alright. Whew. Gather all of the materials. Gather all of the gems. I guess look at this whole pile of steaming shit. Are they our gloves? They are not our gloves. Is that our helm? It is not our helm. Then we open up the chest. We pick up all the crafting materials and we get out of here. How many do we get? 40 of everyone. Or of every single one of them. And some greater rift keystones as well. Beautiful. Let's pick up this bow to fill up our inventory. And let's go. Alright. Beautiful timing as well because we were on our final bounty. Make sure I don't claim the bounty caches right now because I'm not completely sure they drop to the ground. They might just disappear. Okay. We have some filtering to go through right here. We don't need any of this. That's fine. That's our follower. We don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need this. No elusive rings for us. Sebor's Nightmare is nowhere to be found anymore because I disenchanted it quickly. Then you could say Alabama. We have an ancient right here, so it's not going to be better for sure. Heart of Iron, no thank you. Manticore, no thank you. The shoulders are worse, I think. If we change up, that increases Rain of Vengeance damage to something. But the dexterity is lower. The resistance is a little higher. Cooldown reduction though, but we have enough cooldown reduction already. No thank you. I think this is fine. Completely fine. Holy Point Shot is nice for the Impale build, which you are not using. Nope, 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 nope. Ancient, cool, but nope. And of course, there is no focus to be seen. I did a little bit of organizing. I hope you guys can appreciate this. There's no focus to be seen yet, because we will, of course, get it from these bounty caches right here. Not that you can get set items from that or anything, but we were doing that mainly for the material, not for any of the items, although there are some nice items here. Wow, this really is like a starter pack for if we would need items from bounty still. I'm gonna keep this ring as well, because you need it sometimes, if you in combination with Rachel's Ring of Accuracy. And I think I can just disenchant both of those. Okay. Kabdala as a final little part of this pre-rift part of the part. Some nice English being spoken here. Okay, no big turnouts, but of course we have quite a lot of opportunities to form these ancient boots. 18 to be precise. What's the limiting factor here? Is it the yellow material? No, it's not. Or it is? Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Just give me the ancient boots from the start and I will be happy. Second attempt is also fine. I know we could speed up this process by making multiple iterations at once of the boots, but I want to... Woo! Thank you very much. It has cluster arrow damage on it. I guess I'll reroll that to multi-shot damage probably. That's probably what the build guide is going to require me to do. I want to head back to the Act 1 town because this is where I feel at home and where I feel like most knowledgeable about the locations. Let's see. Item stat priorities, please. Boots, boots, boots. Multi-shot damage is priority number 1. If we reroll the multi-shot damage, they will still provide us with a little bit of extra damage. And the vitality is higher. There's no resistance to all though. Yeah, okay, sure. Give me multi-shot damage 15, please. Movement speed is also nice. 13 is cool. Cooler than 12, but less cool than 15. You know we are min-maxing this to oblivion, because this is probably the final pair of boots we will wear. I'm not gonna craft them until I find a primal variety. That's just crazy business. Come on, we got this. I'm sure we got this. A little bit of patience, a little bit of luck, a little bit of kind words towards Diablo. I've been enjoying you for so many years at this point in time. We've had such a blast through multiple seasons. You know you want to give it to me. You know you want this. I want this, I know you want this as well. Let's just make it easier for the both of us. We can do this, you know. We have fun times together. We can have more fun times now if you just give me the goddamn 15%. This is probably your favorite part of any Onkruid video ever, right? Me just looking at a number and seeing whether it changes to 15 or not. I think that's probably like some of the most entertaining content out here. That's the minimum amount. I'm looking for the maximum amount. We are gonna roll away all of our money, all of our dead's breath, all of our veiled crystals before we get this, right? Just give me the 15%, the elusive 15%. 14 damage on cluster error, that's already nice. 10%, you're taking the piss. Okay, 3 more rolls. 1, 2, 3. We will be okay with 13%. Let's reroll, not reroll. Let's transmog them into these. Let's paint them black, like we did with the rest of our build. Get rid of the old boots. And let's head into some greater rifts, right? Multi-rift, save. Multi-greater, equip. This can be socketed right here. All of our gems are fine and in order. Equip our potion. Put away all of this. And put away these two as well. Save it. Equip our follower items. It takes some setups. Bear with me. That's not what we want to do. This is what we want to do. Alright. All of this can head into the chest. And then we are ready to rumble. A lot of setup in this episode, in this part of the episode rather. Let's talk about something non-gameplay related while we clear out some of these rifts, right? I am reading Into the Wild finally. A book I had been looking for a while. Found it a while back in a second-hand book market. No, that's not true. Not a second-hand book market, but a book market organized by a bookstore that one of my dear friends, whose birthday is coming up tomorrow, have to remember to send her a message. Send her a message again, because Facebook told me her birthday was a couple of days ago when it's actually tomorrow. She works in that bookstore. They organize book sales twice a year, I think, at least once a year, with books that have like slight damages or slight creases in some of the papers, where one of the pages is flipped over at the corner a little bit, where somebody came on the pages because the literary work they were reading was so enticing, was so encouraging, was so... What's the word I'm actually looking for? Just turning them on to such an extent that they blew their load into the pages and they now stuck together, causing them to make a trifle with peas and custard. Okay, I'm getting lost in my own sauce for a little bit. Bought it there. Was looking forward to reading it for a while. And I have spent the last couple of months reading more just light fiction. Small fiction books where I don't need to take too many annotations, where I'm just enjoying the process. Not non-fiction, just books that I can take everywhere and read without any premonitions or without any worries about not picking up on all the little intricacies the book has to offer. And now it was Into the Wild's turn. And I have been enjoying my time in that book thoroughly. It's a bit different than the movie, of course. It's a lot more factual. It's a lot more talking about what happened rather than you actually experiencing Chris' story. But so far, I've really been enjoying my time with it. And I think Krakauer, a journalist, does a beautiful job of taking us along the ride Chris went on in the final phases of his life. Is that an ancient puzzle ring? It is not. I know you need an ancient puzzle ring for one part of the Altar of Right. You can just get added onto the collection. And then all the rest of this, I think, can just immediately get thrown to the wayside. By which I mean disenchanted. Yes, absolutely. Again, Oculus ring doesn't matter. That potion does not matter either. Just head straight back into it. What do I enjoy about the book so far? Storytelling. The use of words that I don't understand. That's, I think, one of the traps I can fall into when reading those non-fiction books is I want to understand every word. And if there's a word that I don't know, I want to learn how to use it. I want to intertwine it with my already known vocabulary to expand my knowledge of the English language, of languages in general, and expand my capacity to express myself in interesting ways, in ways that listeners will find charming, charismatic, and that will draw them in and make them listen to what I have to say with the greatest attention. It forces me, or it slows me down a lot. It forces me to slow down a lot. It slows me down a lot because I want to look up those words, but then I think, I can't look up all of them now because I don't need to understand every single word in the book in order to find enjoyment, you know? One of the examples is Gregorius. That's a word I encountered in the book yesterday. And even from the context, I couldn't really put a description on the word or fit a description on the word because I still didn't actually understand what was meant with it. And then a couple of pages later it was used again, and the tendency to look it up became large. The need to look it up, the itch became more and more itchy. But I have developed the habit, which I'm not gonna break, to just underline the word, put a little star next to it, and then later when I'm going through the book again to annotate, or to rather add my annotations into Obsidian, creating my little mind map of content that I want to base my internal frame of knowledge on. It's a lot of fancy words to just say I keep notes on my books. Then I will look it up, and then I will immediately think about, oh, and it was used in this sentence in this way because they meant to say this. That's a format of looking at new, novel, interesting, unique words that doesn't get me out of the flow of the reading process at all times. Grabbing my phone to write down my notes in the middle of a page, it interrupts your flow. It interrupts your enjoyment of the book, and that's something I had to learn lately. Because, of course, finding or looking at your notes again afterwards and then adding them into Obsidian in a separate browse of the book, a separate perusing of it, if you will, it takes up a lot more time. But that time is valuably spent because you're refreshing your knowledge about the book even more, and it's exactly what you need in order to really take up most of the book, to get the most use out of the literary work you have in your hands or you have on your screen. What else do I enjoy about the book? Felt like I got into a little bit of a tangent about my way of note-taking, which is a valuable tangent nonetheless, but I digress. I like how I can imagine some scenes according to the movie, but other scenes were not in the movie or not to the great extent that they are described in the book, and I have to really use my own imagination again. That's a fun part. Some people might find that tedious or might find it way more fun if they can use the movie as a basis for their entire imaginary movie that they play while reading the book. For me, imagining some of the parts myself is a nice bonus. It gives me some freedom. It allows me to express myself a little bit. I love reading more in-depth facts about the relationship between Chris and his father, about the psyche his father has, about his accomplishments as a great scientist for NASA, for our space missions, and with our, I mean just the human race, and with our, I mean, matey, come aboard of my pirate ship. I'm so sorry about that, because those are things that are of course not stated explicitly in the movie. You know, they can't devote enough runtime to every character's internal world of reference, internal frame of reference, to because that will just make the movie way too long. Way too long for the regular viewer that doesn't want to know about every person's internal way of being, internal mode of experiencing. Which is something I, as a psychologist, just as a human being, definitely do. I want to know what's going on in every single person's mind, and I feel like the book is giving me more of a source, more of a resource to actually get into the nitty-gritty of things, to overanalyze, which is something I love to do. I love the insight into Chris, his capitalistic tendencies, while he is also a great advocate for Tolstoy and his view of more socialist disparagements of the means of production. Don't think that word makes sense there. Socialist. What am I looking for? Distributions of the means of production. No, I don't need a ballista. Still the wrong one. It might be a little better. We can look at it, but it's not what I'm looking for. And still no Ramlatni's gift. He is anti-capitalist, but he knows how to make a quick buck, and he knows how to make a quick buck, and he also knows that he needs money to finance his adventures, to finance his way of living. So when he was younger, he was selling his own made vegetables already, for example. When he got older, he even worked in McDonald's for a while, which is of course something that, ooh, yeah, that is not explained in the book. That is not shown in the book, in the movie rather, because it kind of takes away some of the severeness with which Chris is an advocate for his lifestyle. Minus damage is something we don't like to see. It's a fan of knives weapon, which we don't need. Gain the ballistics passive versus the sharpshooter passive. Both ones we don't have yet. Ballistics, well, sharpshooter, gain critical hit chance every second. No, I think we crit enough. Ballistics, increase the damage of rockets. Well, we do fire a lot of rockets, right? Okay, but the one we have equipped is ballistics already. So, yeah, no, this one is going in the trash as well. Thank you for the 1000 Forgotten Souls. I guess this one gave Death's Breath. And thank you for the 1,000,000 beers as well. It's going to be a little bit of a slower part. Again, we're going to look at the stat priority for our shoulders. Dexterity, check. Area damage. Area damage. And then resource cost reduction, cooldown reduction. So I guess resist all is not needed on these bad boys. Or area damage. Area damage is more important, and vitality is of the least importance apparently. Okay, give me the area damage then. Resource cost. Vitality. More vitality. We are looking for area damage. Chance to deal area damage on hit. Preferably a large number. Oh shit, okay. We're out of yellow materials, which kind of hinders our reroll capacities. And shows us that we need to do some regular rifting and stuff and pick up some more yellow items. Not this episode though. This part, we will finish off with one final greater rift. We might be able to up the difficulty a little bit because this is still going swimmingly to such a large extent that it's really just a walk in the park, a piece of cake, a cake walk, whatever you want to call it. It's too easy, so we might up the difficulty a little bit in the next part, finally set part and not episode, to, well, I guess gain better loot. That's what this game is all about, right? Upping the difficulty to gain better loot, to up the difficulty some more to gain better loot. And if that's a gameplay loop you can't get behind, then action RPGs are nothing for you, my friend. They're a waste of time anyway. Who told you they were a valuable use of time? That dimwit does not know what he's talking about. Little callback to one of my previous videos, if you didn't catch that. Is there anything else I want to say about the book right now? I guess I like that in the book they immediately hit you with the, oh yeah, by the way, he died. He doesn't survive. Whereas in the movie, it's more of a, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen it, of course, it's more of a build-up. And you don't immediately know that he's gonna perish. Big spoiler alert, by the way. Probably should have said that earlier, but I think everybody has seen Into the Wild, or everybody that wants to see Into the Wild has seen it already. Big downside of the book is that you can't hear Eddie Vedder screaming about society in your ear while you're reading it. No, but seriously, an amazing soundtrack. Listen to it sometimes, just while doing other things. And I know my girlfriend is a major fan of the movie. I bought the book for her as well, and I think she's a big fan of the soundtrack as well. I often buy books for my girlfriend, but I end up reading them, or at least end up reading them first, because she's not the biggest advocate for books, the biggest enjoyer of those pages filled with letters in the English or Dutch language. I'll fit one more rift into here just to get that level 25 on my Bane of the Trapped. And I will up the difficulty a little bit. 78. Not a nice number to look at, but hey. at least we will get more loot from it. The book reads quite quickly. I feel like I'm at page 130 right now from a bit over 200. And I think that is also partially because my view of, yeah, just reading it, just enjoying it, getting a blast out of it, but not having to squeeze every single drop of value out of it. Another thing I love is the history the author gives, Krakauer gives, about other adventurers similar to Chris. And all the quotes included by books that I think would be greatly inspiring to me, like Tolstoy, a book or an author of whom I bought 2 books just earlier this week because I found them in a flea market for very, very cheap. Hardcovers for €3. Sign me right the fuck up, please. A steal. I didn't steal them, but it's a steal. You know the expression? You probably do. Walden by Thoreau. Never know how to pronounce his name, but it's a book that has been making waves in my mind lately and that I want to have in my hands sooner or later in the future as well. It's another book that I'm looking out for whenever I travel to second-hand bookstores, to flea markets, to book markets, because I think it's a book that I will find sooner or later and I don't have to buy at its retail price. Presumably that retail price is not going to be that high either way, so it's not the end of the world if I have to buy it at that price in the end, but if you can find it for cheaper, then by all means, find it for cheaper. True for a lot of things in life, not for things like getting your house fixed or getting your roof laid again. By all means, spend a little bit extra to get it done by a reputable source, because otherwise... I thought there was a primal ancient legendary in there. Otherwise, you will have a leak again in like 2 days, probably. 1, and then the famous 2. Beautiful stuff. Let's just go for 3, 4, and 5 right now. But now we did unlock the ability to have that aura around us that slows enemy movement speed. I guess for further upgrades we will invest into Zaystone of Vengeance first, because that is apparently a very large DPS upgrade when it comes to ranged builds. Something I just picked up while reading a little bit of my guide on max roll. Okay, another recording session in the books. A little bit of a hazy commentary. I feel like my brain was messed up a bit from all the practical work I did today already. But I'm glad I recorded and I'm glad you could join me for this little session. See you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye. Hi, welcome back. Welcome to the... I don't know which part, recorded right after the previous recording session. Just splitting them up to make sure I don't get any problems with messed up files. I am gonna reforge this because I messed up the enchants when I still was using it in my other build. I gave it spike trap damage. I want to have it better because I need to have increased maximum discipline on it. A socket. This doesn't look that bad. I might reroll the socket, but Bola's damage is not really what we want. Let's reroll it one more time. It can be ancient from this, right? I think so. Grenade damage, no. Ooh, critical hit chance increased by 10. Attack speed by 17. Not a lot of dexterity. I guess we would reroll the life regen for the maximum discipline. The multi-shot percentage is a little bit low. I'll try once more. This will become ancient sooner or later. Sentry damage, no. It's a nice one. 153%. I sleep. Ooh. Okay. Okay. The rolls are absolutely shit, but there's multi-shot damage on there already. But the rolls are straight ass. But I guess I'll reroll the socket. Can I reroll the socket into more max discipline? Oh. So, is it this? Oh, okay, we just need to reroll this. So we can keep the socket. But a socket on this item sucks, because it just gives us a little bit of extra dexterity. 280. It's something to sneeze at, I guess, but it's not amazing. I guess we'll keep it for now, and we will reroll the monster kills grant experience. Equip, no. Save, yes. Equip the rift one. Re-equip this. Put this in there. Save it. We are gonna be farming some gold, ladies and gentlemen. Put everything in here away. And then we are ready to hit the rift. Are we gonna rift? Are we gonna do bounties? Are we gonna maybe do some puzzle rings? Let's just Let's start with some regular rifting action, right? I think we will. And I think we will also not get rid of this because we need to upgrade it still to get the shield to make sure that our Squidward's necklace is always active. Is there anything else I want to say about Krakauer's book? It's an interesting question I'm asking myself. And an interesting question. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you like me talking about books. Maybe a bit of a meta thing. I'm wondering about how I could introduce more book content on my YouTube, because I really love booktubers, book talk. I love all of those types of content, and I want to share more of my opinions on books. I think I used to make an in-depth video on a lot of books I read, titled like, should you read this book? It had pros and cons, it had my thoughts on the book, it had a short summary. I made an entire PowerPoint for every single video. I feel like that's a little bit over the top, that's too much. But now I often read books and don't tell you guys anything about them, unless in like random other videos where I might touch upon the book briefly. I want to make it more conscious. I want to make it a bigger part of my channel. Don't forget to pick up yellow items in the meantime, by the way. I want to show you guys that I am not just an illiterate, analphabetic asshole that doesn't know how to read or write. You know, I got some books lined up here in my room. I got some books lined up in my brain that I have read already. There's some letters in there. I know how to read. I'm going to prove that to you. I'm just taking a piss a little bit, but it's... I think also partly because of something we talked about on the Onkruid channel before, and maybe even in this video already, about how I think I am too critical of myself before even starting recording the video, because I think immediately the feelings, the classic feelings come up of like, well, why would anybody want to listen to my opinion on the book? There's so many opinions out there already. Nothing makes my opinion special. And that's where you're wrong, kiddo, because my opinion is formed by all the experiences I have in my life. And ooh, Hydra bow. Oh my god. Oh my god. I took a shower already today after doing a little bit of an ab workout, but I think, I'm just putting it out there, I might have to shower again. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your horses, but we might be in the money right here. We might actually be cooking big time. The stove might be turned up to 11. Careful that your spaghetti doesn't burn, because this is some high heat action. Got a lot of yellow items and veil crystals in the meantime. So that is beautiful stuff. Let's try to fill up our inventory a little bit more now that we're here, because there's so many random monsters. So we can just kill all of them, pick up all the yellow items that drop. This rift layout, this area of the rift is always really nice, so I don't mind spending a little bit more time here, especially because there's also so many pots and all of that, but I think that was fine. Okay, this is a nice pull, but this is the real money shot, right? This is where we're headed for, this is what we're looking for. Give me some focus as well now that we're at it, of course you won't. Okay, does it have the effect I need? Fuck. It does not. It does not. For some reason in my mind, I thought this automatically would have the effect I would need. But it doesn't. And it's minus 66% damage, which I don't like to see at all. There are 3 different weapons available for each with its own benefits. Chance of freedom, while it's competitive in damage, you lose whatever that is. The above is a better option. Comes with this fixed up. Well, some have static value and wide range. Because 5th passive is not going to make or break your build. We don't need to make or break our build. Okay, so we need to have either Dawn or Yang's recurve on this if we want to be able to use it. So I guess this wind force is just for the trash then? Because I don't think it has anything too crazy on there. The movement speed is nice. The maximum discipline is nice. Do you think this really is worse? Because it looks quite nice, to be honest. Even though it's minus... Oh! That... Well, I'll try it, but that can be good, right? That can be what we need. No way in hell I can justify such a low damage number. Unless if we still delete screens, then the extra movement speed is already reason enough for me. Do we still delete screens? Maybe we do still delete screens. Oh, this is where I need the opinion of an expert Diablo player to tell me which is best, but I guess I can form my own opinion. Wouldn't call myself an expert per se, but I've played a fair share of Diablo in my years, so I guess I should know myself. We move faster because of the movement speed. It feels great. It looks cooler than having a crossbow. It's the aesthetic of our build a little bit better because I'm so used to playing with a bow with the multi-shot Demon Hunter. But is it actually really better? That's the question we still have to decide upon, because it does not have the ballistic passive. It has the single out passive, and if single out means anything close to what the name suggests, then I think that will be extremely useless for us. Except for, I guess, Rift Guardians, but the passive is not worth it. I know the passive is not the most important part of this item, and you shouldn't stare blindly at the passive. You shouldn't make that your main concern. But I am concerned, I'll tell you that much. I am worried a little bit. Call me that guy from The Big Short that discovered the major holes in the plans the mortgage banks had. Because I'm a bit concerned, you know? I'm a bit worried. I guess he was less worried because he also knew how to capitalize on that fact. I'm not certain how to capitalize on these things yet, because it seems just... Oh... Okay, do we upgrade our Altar of Rites, or do we get a socket first? I feel like the base decision is to upgrade the Altar of Rites, considering the fact that our damage is already high. It's already up there. I feel like our attack speed is a lot higher with this bow, and I love that too. That makes it so much more fun. Rift Guardian damage? Ooh. Okay, the Rift Guardian damage is not crazy. The Rift Guardian damage is not that insane. It's just gonna be my decision, right? There's not gonna be a necessarily a clear-cut right or wrong, I think. I think it's just gonna be maybe even personal preference. It feels better. It feels better because I move quicker, because I attack quicker, and because it is the item I supposedly need for my build. So that might be a stupid reason in your book. But it's not a stupid reason in mine. Stop doubting about it. Just get rid of the crossbow. Goodbye. Oh, that hurt. That still hurt. That still hurt quite a ton. So what did I say? Upgrade Altar of Rites is the base decision, right? I think I stand by that. You might be yelling at the screen right now. By all means, yell away. I'm not gonna change my opinion. Where is focus? Does focus exist? Quickly stroll by the enchanter to get the maximum disciplined enchant. Otherwise I'm gonna forget investing in it. 10 out of 12. 11 is already better. Okay, thank you. 83 damage. You don't know. So that's 11 extra discipline. That's an insane amount of extra damage. You can't even fathom that. Okay. Luckily we have enough Greater Rift Keystones. It's been a while since I've leveled up this bad boy, so I need to look it up again to see what I need to look up. What I need to level up, rather. Talk a bit more slowly. How about that, huh? How about that? How about them apples? Not that I fixed Mini Driver's phone number or anything, but... Okay, so... Yes, please. I think this quality of life is more important to me than anything else. Let's start to this, and we need to clear out a little bit of a more powerful Greater Rift level. Paragon 600, we're going for that 800, baby. You bet your sweet bippy that we're trying to hit all the way. The bow looks cool. The bow looks really cool. Our shoulders are not black yet. God damn it. Such an oversight. How can we even play the game like this? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't tie a weapon, right? And you can't transmog a bow either. Or can't transmog an ethereal item either, so this is what we will look like for the foreseeable future. Do we need more regular rifts, or do we need to... Well, I guess we need to focus on greater rifts now, because we need to upgrade our altar of rights further, but we only have 3 great rift keystones, so I guess a regular rift it is. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I think my brain is too fried to record this, really. I'm looking forward to being done with my clients today. I notice... I'm gonna retire the subject of Into the Wild for a while. I might touch upon it later again. Oh, look at that. Look at all the items disappear from the ground because my pet is salvaging it. I notice that even if I have a low amount of clients, a small number of clients lined up on the docket, it feels kind of similar as to when you have an appointment at 2 in the afternoon and their eyes are the size of the moon, you know? Even though it's only one appointment, even though you don't need a lot of preparation time, even though you don't need to leave in time or that much beforehand because you know you'll be on time, still it takes up a lot of space in your head. That's at least how a lot of people work, that's how I work, and I hate it. I absolutely despise my brain for it, but I feel a similar sensation when looking at clients on my agenda. Even if I only have one person, even if I only need to be presently actively listening from my client-centered therapist point of view for 1 hour throughout the day, it still takes its toll. It still feels heavy. It still feels like a burden. And I'm gonna dial it down a little bit because I don't suffer from doing my work. I absolutely adore doing my work, so it doesn't feel like such a challenge or such a hurdle to jump over. But it has this quality of like not being able to chill yet in your day. You feel me? Not, well, obviously you don't because you're probably on the other side of the world and I can only feel myself. Shout out to my socks back there. You don't feel me, but I think you understand what I'm saying, what I'm getting at. It feels like you're not allowed to chill yet throughout the day because you still have some productive hours lined up later in your agenda. So you better not relax too much. The build became even more fun, man. I get this feeling inside my bones that everything goes electric when I turn it on or something. That everything is just disappearing even more quickly. And of course I'm gathering greater rift keystones in the process. Another flavor of time. If it's ancient, I guess it's a small, tiny little upgrade for our Templar, but we are not really focused on upgrading our Templar all that much. And that's the feeling I'm having right now. Even though I already had a lot of productive hours, both in terms of client hours, actually seeing clients and working with them, but also in terms of all the non-client hours I invested in work and school and education already today. It still feels like I can't chill yet. It feels like I have this weight on my shoulders still for the end of the day. And once I start working, I'm completely fine. I am like, yes, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is my place. This is my therapy room again. I have 2 male clients. I tell them to come in with a smile on my face. I listen to them. Listen to the first one about the struggles he is having professionally and with his wife. And just with himself, with his identity. Last session, we focused a bit on his values and how he wants to be in life versus how he is right now. So we will probably build a little bit further on that, considering I asked him to set 3 goals for himself in terms of achieving that version of himself that he wants to achieve. Looking forward to that session because that's an enthusiastic client that loves to partake in introspection and loves to discover things that make life easier for him. Second client, male client from Italy, also adore my collaboration, my trajectory, my journey or adventure with him a ton, because he likes trading card games and I like Magic the Gathering as well. The real answer is because it's a similar answer. He is motivated to work on himself and I've been seeing him for definitely more than a year already by now, it must be. And I've seen him take such amazing steps from being too insecure to talk about his feelings with his partner to making the step towards buying a house together. Does it pick up this item as well if I dropped it? No, I guess it doesn't. And now to getting married and to thinking about having a child after first suffering from an abortion, which is of course one of the, I think, hardest thing you can suffer from as a couple. But I'll go as far as to say that the female partner in that relationship, not that every relationship has to have just one female or has to have a female, but I digress, she suffers more. The feeling of giving up the seed that sprouted inside of you, giving up the child that you feel inside your belly already. I don't think there's anything quite comparable to that. Maybe the feeling of losing a child as a parent, which is something no parent should go through. Especially according to John Krakauer in his book Into the Wild. Have you guys read this? Have you heard about this? Do you want me to tell you about it? I feel like it's harder for the mother still, but the father suffers from it as well, of course. And that's a large part of the therapy sessions were devoted to him dealing with how he dealt with that situation. That might seem a bit fake, but I want to keep it a bit fake because I don't want to air everybody's dirty laundry, or I don't want to make anybody recognizable or anything. But yeah, that was a beautiful trajectory that we have had together so far. Absolutely beautiful. Because of the amount of work he has put in. Because of the amount of time he spent listening to suggestions and working with them and trying to actually apply them in his daily life. Really a valuable client to work with. A valuable therapeutic relationship we have built up together. And I don't know for certain, of course, but I can tell you with some certainty, with at least actually a lot of certainty, that he thinks about it the same way. An important part of therapy is, of course, re-evaluating. Oh, nice, another ranks recurve. Re-evaluating how therapy sessions have been going, how you are both looking at it, and how it might become even better. Whether you need to interrupt your client more, whether you need to give more assignments for at home, whether you need to talk less and let him do more talking, him or her. And we've been doing that as well, and I feel like he is quite positive. I'm gonna just sacrifice this into the cube immediately. If we find one of these items with the down passive on now, we can switch these guys up. And that would be nice. Would be very, very nice indeed. Attack speed it is. We can start rolling into the final part of our passive tree, of our paragon tree. Was that... Did I just do a greater rift? No, I did a normal rift, right? Okay, I'm collecting more greater rift keystones. 12. 12 is enough for me to say, let's switch it up a little bit again. Equip. Equip this bow. I'm feeling a little bit heartbroken about the fact that there's no socketed emerald in there, but hey, you can't have everything at once, right? Patience is a beautiful virtue. Let's go up to 81. We might suffer some casualties in terms of like me, myself dying in these rift difficulties because our tankiness has not increased lately. Our health is still at a healthy 600k, but it's no 750k like the build advises me to have. So, you know, we might die. We might pass away a couple of times. I hope not, because it makes me unable to upgrade my legendary gem the final time. But I'm prepared myself, so I want to prepare you guys for that situation as well. Am I correct in my assumption that the additional progress orb dropped from champion minions or elite minions, from the yellow ones that have little servants to their name, that the additional orb drops after killing all of their servants? I feel like only then I see the other additional purple blob appear at my feet. With the blue ones, it's probably just after you kill the final one. Yeah, it pops up right where you're standing, but I want to pay more attention to if I kill another yellow pack to see what happens when it actually gets dropped. Right here, let's look at it. Because I feel like I see sometimes... Well, that's indistinguishable. I feel like I sometimes see the additional one drop before I actually kill the main baddie. The main guy that I'm actually trying to get rid of. That I'm trying to get deceased. That I'm trying to unaliven. All minions are killed here, right? Okay, and then when I kill the yellow one, it drops at my feet. Maybe if I kill the yellow one first and only then kill some of the minions, my theory will prove correctly. Or maybe I am just completely spitting shit straight out of my throat area, and it makes absolutely no sense what I'm talking about, and the extra orb just drops like any regular old orb does. Just realize that we have not changed up our follower equipment yet again for Greater Rift, so we might do that if we really want to min-max, and I really want to min-max. I really do, especially at this point of the game. We were upgrading this gem, I think, especially because I also use it in my Rift build. And hey, there's another down, of no use to us right now, of course, but fun to see nonetheless. Now the major, insanely great damage increases will kind of slow down a bit, probably. I should not spend my blood shards because I am trying to upgrade my altar of rights with them. Need to remember that. Goodbye, Dawn. Goodbye, the Star of Alramant. Another one of these keys to open up a Petrified Scream or an Echoing Nightmare. Not really investing my time in that yet. Some life regen and gold pickup radius, and this I will keep investing in dexterity for now. Change up the gear, as we just said, and then let's roll. Other than that, one of the previous books I read was about a publisher, a publishing company. It's a Dutch book. I don't think it'll have much translation in English. It was by Joseph Pierce, and the Dutch title is Voet bij Stuk. I don't know if there's even going to be an English title to be found. Enjoyed the book, especially the way it was written. That really pulled me in. That really kept me entertained, kept me hooked to the pages. The ending, I'm gonna make a controversial statement. The ending is on the level of like Lucy endings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, praise your lucky stars, because that movie just completely, utterly, demoralizingly, making you lose your trust in cinema as a mediumly, shits the bed near the end of the film. The ending is, for having such a star-studded cast with, for example, Morgan Freeman, it's a shame. It's an utter and complete shame that a movie that promising had to end that way. I digress. What was I talking about? Yeah, okay, the ending of the book is equally as bad. I'm gonna just spoil it because I don't think anybody will ever read it. If I make a video on it later, I'm sorry for the spoiler alert, but nobody's watching this part of this video either way. The ending is the main protagonist, who has been very upset at the direction the publishing company she has been working at is going under new management, pushes the new manager and the star author they created themselves off a cliff. Just, they are standing at a view. She takes the both of them to a viewpoint in a city in Switzerland or something, where they are on a book tour. She wants to save the company. She wants to save literature as a whole. Save it from becoming just all pulp, just becoming all science fiction, novels and stuff like that. And she throws herself off the cliff with the two of them. She survives because her umbrella gets stuck somewhere, and the other two people are dead in an instant. And then in the ending, she sells out, she sells her soul, and she takes over the publishing company and starts selling novels and sci-fi books herself. No. Absolutely not. Just out of the question that that can be the right ending to your book. The main protagonist that has been an advocate for her values, her views, her way of doing things for the entire book, all of a sudden just erases all of that, commits suicide together with the two people that she herself sees as responsible for the direction the publishing company is taking. No, that makes no sense. That's not allowed. That's not right. That's really like doing the rest of the book dirty. Because it was promising. It had some nice passages, it had some nice character dynamics, some nice decision making, which is also something I really like when books describe decision making processes. And a lot of nice words. But, oh, just such a shit ending, man. So disappointing. Stormzy could make a song about it, about how still disappointed he actually is. Is that focus? Is that... Lord, My prayers have finally been answered. We can switch to focus and restraint. We can switch to focus and restraint for our greater rift builds, and I know that when I get focus, I have the tendency to just keep it equipped for the other build as well. 2 of them already have sockets. That is beautiful. Remove gems. Goodbye. Goodbye. Now our playstyle will of course change a little bit as well again, because we will have to alternate between using evasive fire and multi-shot to get both of the passives going. But I trust my capacities to do so. And I trust that this will make it a lot easier for us to clear out an even larger Greater Rift level. Let's just quickly check it out as a final little rift in this part of the recording session. I presume we're going to be like almost 3 hours deep at this point in time. And from now on, it's going to become a lot more focused for me, because I need to keep both passives up at all times. Or well, if I want to deal the max amount of damage, I need to keep both passives up at all times. Just notice that I can indeed keep up my vengeance at all times, so that's already really nice. But that's not something you really need to focus on with such a conscious mind. Early this morning, before I drove in a sense of cycle to work, I put Nothing Matters by The Last Dinner Party on my phone. It was a song that for some reason got stuck in my head the last couple of days, and I felt like, okay, if it's stuck in my head, then why not put it on my phone, and quite enjoyed it quite thoroughly. Also added Marry Me Archie into the playlist that I have on my phone. A song by Always, I think a Canadian kind of indie pop rock shoegaze synth pop band. Maybe those are some of the genres that apply. They have quite a unique sound, and I love the singers, the vocalist. She's a woman. I love her voice and the tone she creates with them. We saw them a while back, me and my girlfriend, on Life is Life festival, and it was quite a surprise because we didn't know the band, and I vividly remember it was one of my favorite. Oh yeah, saw it right there. You have to kill all the minions for it to drop, for the extra orb to drop. We didn't know about the band, but we were standing at the main stage where they were gonna perform, and we just listened for a while, and I was like, wow, this really reminds me of that song, Hey, hey, marry me, Archie. Bookings, het onkruid at hotmail.com. I also do birthday parties. I was like, her voice sounds so similar to that artist, but I had no idea who the artist of that song stuck in my head was. And then, as one of the final songs of their set, they just played it because it was their song. That was such a nice discovery, a nice way to find out what a song actually is, what a song title and artist actually is. Way nicer than just opening up Shazam and reading it there, experiencing it live. Great live band. If you ever get the chance to see them, Always with 2 V's instead of a W, I can advise you to do so. Go out of your way to do so, because they are the bee's knees. Some nice shit there. 2 songs added into my library on my phone, and 2 songs that I really enjoyed on my way to work this morning, and that I might enjoy on my way to work again in a couple of minutes when I leave for work. That cues the end of the recording session for me as well, because I do have to leave for work, because I want to read a little bit. It's a habit well, I don't need to roll rings anymore. I guess I roll 2-handed weapons. Can you get ethereal items from Kadala? Or do I start rolling for ancient pieces? I guess I could also roll for an ancient squirts necklace, but that's quite rare and quite expensive as well. I'll think about it. I'll think about it for a second. I have the tendency to listen to songs many times over when I first discover them, rediscover them when they are stuck in my head. I spend a lot of time re-listening to them, and right now, those 2 songs occupy that space in my playlist. Okay, thank you very much for sticking with me through this part of the recording as well. I'll probably either cut the video up here in 2 videos, maybe even 3 videos, because I learned from my mistakes that YouTube doesn't like recordings being uploaded that are 6 hours long. So yeah, see you in the next video as well. I'll try to upload them at the same time though, so you can watch this continuously, because of course you have that time. Of course you make the time. Are you telling me you're not gonna make that time for me? Are you telling me you're not just postponing every other thing you have to do in your life just to watch this video, just to listen to my honey soothing voice? But I have to say that then. Fuck you, buddy boy, you're not a real Onkruid fan. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one.